prosecution's claim, but must leave all the weighing of credible but conflicting evidence to the trier of fact. And finally, State v. Lopez, a Utah 2020 Supreme Court case. Speaking of this probable cause standard,
Botrix has successfully joined the channel.
Under this low bar, it may be difficult for the defense to overcome a prima facie showing of probable cause. Even an alleged victim's recantations may sometimes be insufficient, given that the magistrate must view all evidence in the light most favorable to the prosecution and draw all reasonable inferences in favor of the prosecution, close quote. Judge, Your Honor has heard 4 days of testimony now. The evidence is overwhelming. It's devastating. The question needs to be asked.
What?
The purpose of continuing with testimony if it's long and drawn out. Of course, the defense has the right to call witnesses, but it needs to be within the context of this preliminary hearing. So again, we may be lodging a standing objection of relevance and exceeding the scope of this hearing. That's my record.
Are they trying to block the witness? Or the...
Yeah.
Other than
Yep.
please wish to be heard as it relates to Mr. Grunander's statement.
Then why even have the pre-hearing at all if you're just required to just agree with everything the prosecution says? Don't even have it.
Yeah,
just have the trial.
Just believe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what was being requested by Mr. Grunlander. As I indicated to the court during the testimony of the last witness, we had discussion with the state prior to the start. We had a scheduled date for the court to rule on objections. And the purpose of that hearing was so that we wouldn't have to fly witnesses out from the East Coast if there was going to be a standing objection. Prior to that hearing taking place, the state contacted us after they had participated in interviews of Ms. Oliver and the other experts, and indicated to us, and we indicated to the court, that there was going to be no standing objection to the testimony of these witnesses. So if he's lodging a standing objection now, I think he's waived it, or he should be stopped from asserting it given the circumstances. I didn't hear that he was asserting that, and I intend to keep this next witness focused on the issue that I think is relevant, which is the state presented DNA reports through a non-expert. They selectively read into the record a portion of those reports, which left an extremely misleading impression of the significance of that evidence. So I have the author of the report here, and I'm going to hopefully educate the court on what the limitations are of the report, and that's it. I hope to be done with the witness by noon, direct and cross, and that will be the end of it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Burton. And before I have you call the witness, just want to make sure that the media had well, I'm not sure if the media needs to be heard on Mr. Grunander's response. Mr. Burton, I may call you next.
Thank you. Call Miss Oliver.
Oh boy, we're doing DNA again. Oh God! Buckle your seatbelts.
That's gonna take a minute.
Is it the same witness?
Would you like to come forward?
I don't think so. I think it's a different witness.
Someone else.
You do solemnly swear that the testimony you shall give in the case now pending before the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
All right, now you may be seated. And there's a water bottle to your left if you wish. Now after you're seated, if you wouldn't mind adjusting that microphone, bringing it close to you to pick up the testimony. Mr. Burt, your witness.
Thank you. Could you tell us your name, please?
Caitlin Oliver, Oliver.
And Miss Oliver, could you bring that mic a little bit closer? So I want to make sure your voice is projected. Thank you. What do you do for a living?
I work for the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives as a DNA section chief.
And how long have you held that position?
I've been a section chief since January, and I've worked with the ATF for about 9 years. Prior to that, I was a forensic biologist.
And where were you a forensic biologist before you started to work for the ATF?
Prior to the ATF, I worked for Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office in New Orleans, Louisiana, as a DNA analyst and a DNA quality manager.
Back in September of 2025, what were your duties and responsibilities?
I was a forensic biologist.
And do you recall that around September 11th, you received a request to do some DNA work at the request of the state of Utah?
Yes.
Could we display State's Exhibit 30, which is in evidence?
I'm not sure if they're going to cut audio during all this because they got media banned for the rest of these items.
I mean, they already showed these. Like the defense said, everything they're going to show today has already been put into evidence. So to me, it's like, at this point, you already
Moot
showed them.
point.
Yeah. Anything new, I would understand. But if you showed it already in the trial, then it's kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to be doing. Let's see. What was her first name? I know it's Mrs. Oliver. Did you catch the first name?
Mm-mm.
Anyone in chat? What's her first name? Do you know? Caitlin. Thank you.
Oh, they did cut the audio.
What are they looking at now? Do you know?
DNA. We don't
DNA,
know.
yeah.
We don't know what he's saying or what he's asking or anything because they got to ban the rest of this. Rest of today.
So, what, are we just not going to get audio? That's not going to do us anything.
I think it's only when they're showing something on the screen to her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we can't
Yeah.
even hear them discussing it.
No,
That doesn't make sense.
because audio and video are combined with a ban for electronic media
Mm,
in America. I don't know how they do it in Poland and Cyprus, but
me neither.
hopefully you never find out, right?
Exactly. I stay away. It's okay.
Let me see if our other guest is still going to be joining.
Man, there ain't none of this shit.
Yes, they will be.
Are they actually talking about anything right now? Because he's like on his phone.
I think they're
Or-
talking. Yeah, yeah.
Or are they
I
trying
think
to get? Or are they trying to
Like-
get the exhibit set up right now? Because they don't look
It
like
looks
he's
like-
paying any attention to what's going on.
Honey, I'm gonna be late. They brought DNA again.
Like he's not looking over at her. Oh, okay, he finally just did. I was gonna say he hasn't even looked at her or the defense in like 2 minutes.
he's like, Mrs. Kirk, please do not text me during trial. Allegedly, I'm just kidding. Well, I don't want to jump into supers and have them turn around 3 seconds later and
Yeah,
get started again.
we'll give it a second, yeah, and see.
But we know this guy can go long, so he might drag this out.
Yeah.
For instance,
Oh,
example,
okay, yeah, okay, you're right. They must have had something actually up that was visible.
the admitted paragraph F, you state in F, based on this calculation, there is evidentiary support for the inclusion of Tyler Robinson, correct? As a possible contributor.
Correct.
Mr. Burt, I just want to interrupt.
Sure.
I was made aware of a question about the media as it reflects this order. So the question was whether audio could be transmitted.
There we go.
And my ruling covered the video display of any exhibits. And so I just want to make sure that's the understanding of all the parties, that the audio of your portion discussing evidence is that you understand that that's going to be captured by
Yeah.
in display.
Otherwise, just turn the stream off. You know what I mean?
Okay.
No audio didn't do it, and no video, no visual.
Court's ruling, yes.
And to the state, and to the media.
Yep.
We're gonna
So we
get
get it
audio.
back now.
Yeah, good.
Well, that's why I give my notation at the beginning of the morning that the parties are responsible to monitor their monitors. And that's there because they're entitled to view it, but they're responsible to ensure that the monitors, as the camera is picking up the courtroom, it's directed not to focus on the monitors, but inevitable capture may occur, and that's why that instruction is given.
I think that's Erica Kirk's lawyer.
I don't understand what you're saying.
It's not being published on this one.
Right, the order of the court based as a sanction is no exhibits will be displayed. As it stands right now, yes, that's correct. Okay, please approach the lectern.
He's talking from across the
I
room.
was gonna say, like, shouting at the judge.
Your Honor, it's just hard for the victim's family to be able to follow the evidence if everyone but the victim's family is able to view the exhibits here in court.
Thank you, I appreciate your concern. This monitor is not on either. So it's only the attorneys. The attorneys have a right to view what exhibits are being displayed, to make their motions, objections, and to see it. It is the court's discretion on what's displayed in the courtroom for publication, and the court issued a sanction given the events of yesterday, and that's the court's ruling.
Your Honor, I just asked the court to consider the victim has the right to be present, obviously, at the hearing. And the presence without being able to see the exhibits,
This guy
again,
too.
it's our position, is not me.
He's already like,
Appreciate your concerns.
Again, they are trying to play a card of Erica Kirk, the victim, in court as well. Like, feel sorry for Erica. Change the rules.
Could you redisplay exhibit 30?
I appreciate your concern. The fuck out of here is basically what he just
And while I
said.
was doing that same conclusion where you include the language, go back to that page, please, 5.
Greetings,
Use the term, there is evidentiary support and possible contributor. I want to focus your attention on the words evidentiary support. We've had a prior witness testify that, from the FBI, testified that they use a scale and they characterize the support along the lines of strong. Are you familiar with that type of a scale?
Yes.
Does your agency employ that scale?
We can come to 5 conclusions at our agency. So there can either be limited support for exclusion, uninformative, limited support for inclusion, and support for inclusion.
And I take it from what you just said, you don't use these qualifiers strongly. The word strongly include things of that nature.
Yes, we don't use a verbal scale at our laboratory.
Is that a scientific phrase when you talk about instead of saying that there's support for an inclusion, you instead say there is strong support for the conclusion?
So our laboratory doesn't use a verbal scale due to the fact that they add subjective words to the front of this word support. It is our stance that the likelihood ratio statistic, the number stands on its own. So we report the likelihood ratio and either support for inclusion or support for exclusion.
Thank you. Would you go to page 8 of the report and highlight the very top of the first 2 sentences? You included this language in your report, correct?
Correct.
And in fact, you included this language in all 3 of your reports, referring to the conclusions conform with the relevant Department of Justice policy on uniform language.
That's correct.
Right. And why do you include that language in all 3 of your reports?
It's standard language for our reports. Our reports adhere to the DOJ Ultra statement.
Okay. And could you go now to exhibit Oliver 4 for the witness only? Not admitted yet. Are you familiar with this document, the Department of Justice Uniform Language for Testimony and Reports? for forensic autosomal DNA examination using probabilistic genotyping systems?
Yes, I am.
Right. And would you go to page 4 of that document, please? And the court has heard some prior testimony about this Department of Justice directive. What is ATF's, what is your understanding of what the qualifications and limitations are that are required by this policy of the Department of Justice? What are you not supposed to be saying in connection with the reports that you wrote in this case?
What do you need?
There's a few things that the Ultra document states. First, it states if you use a verbal scale, which we do not, then you need to use the one dictated in the document. This is in an effort to unify the language coming out of DOJ laboratories. It also says that we cannot state that our evidence is infallible, nor can we state that there is a inconclusive result.
Shall not state that it's infallible or have a 0 error rate, correct?
Correct.
It also states, does it not, that you shall not assert that a likelihood ratio of any magnitude provides an absolute identification or source attribution of an individual to an evidentiary sample.
Correct.
And are your reports in conformity with that? You're not stating or implying that anything you did here is asserting an absolute identification of someone as the source of any of the evidence that you examine, correct?
Correct. With forensic evidence, it's impossible to state with 100% certainty anything. That's why we report a likelihood ratio, to speak to that uncertainty with a statistic.
All right, and would you go to the next page of that document? This policy requires that you not state or use the expressions reasonable degree of scientific certainty, reasonable scientific certainty, or similar assertions of reasonable certainty. You didn't do that in any of your reports, correct?
Correct.
You're not asserting anything with respect to any reasonable degree of scientific certainty.
Correct.
Correct. Now, when you can take that down, when did you first receive the assignment in this case?
I would have to refer to my case record to know the exact date.
Do you have those in front of you?
Oh. Matt's gone.
Okay, bear with us, guys. 2 minutes. Matt was warning at the
still live?
beginning.
Sometimes is because if he ends the stream, it'll end it for all of us. So I don't know. Are you guys still here?
We are still
Oh.
live, and Matt is
Yeah, we're
doing
good.
back.
We're good. Something glitched in Chrome, but we're good. So I'm pulling it up right now. We're right back where we left off. And if that happens at any point the rest of the day, same thing. I'll be back on in a split second. And it's only happened once this week, just now. It's never happened before.
It said
so.
Matt's pooping.
Because I'm here.
They got, yeah, see, now you're getting it, dude. That's what happens.
Don't add me to your...
No, that's the chat. Look at the chat. It's not me.
All right, we are back in.
Does that third page help refresh your memory on when you may have received this case?
Yes, on September 12th, 2025.
Okay. Is that when you first started doing work on the case, do you think?
Yes, it is.
Now, prior to doing work on the case, did you receive permission from someone to consume any samples in the case?
Yes, I did.
And could you go to page 15 of those case notes, please? Again, for the witness only. Do you recognize this email?
Yes, I do.
And can you tell me what the email is and what information it conveyed to you in connection with your examination?
Yes, so it's standard procedure at our laboratory that when we receive a case, we request permission to consume from the agent. We request that they reach out to an attorney if one is assigned. In this case, we will not begin any work on the case until we've received that permission to consume. So this email is us receiving permission to consume the samples and move forward with testing.
Now, does your policy have, does your lab have a policy for preserving samples for independent testing by the defense?
There's
Where possible, we will not consume samples where it's possible.
And that policy is a longstanding one, not only in your lab, but pretty much everywhere in forensic DNA analysis, right?
That's correct.
Goes back to 1996, does it not, when the National NRC recommended a policy that samples be split wherever possible at the front end of the analysis to allow for independent examination.
Where possible, yes, that's correct.
Right, and they did that because it was their conclusion, was it not, that a wrongfully accused person's best insurance against a possibility of being falsely incriminated, the opportunity to have the testing repeated. Such an opportunity should be provided whenever feasible.
Correct.
Okay, could you now go back to Exhibit 30? Page 8. Were certain DNA samples consumed in your analysis?
Yes, they were.
And for the record, are those listed on page 8 of your report?
Yes, they are.
Which samples were entirely consumed in your analysis?
That would be exhibits 1.4, 1.6, 1.9, 1.10, 1.12, 2.1, 3.1, 4.1, and 5.1.
Okay, then are there a number of samples listed above there in the report where you say the DNA extracts will be retained? And then you list 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.5, 1.7, 1.8, 1.13, 7.1, and 8.1.
Correct.
Does that mean that those are all swab samples, correct?
They were swabs, yes.
All right. Does your report mean that you consume the swabs, but you have some liquid extract remaining as to those samples?
Correct.
Now, are all of the samples, let's talk about the samples in Plaintiff's Exhibit 30. Were all of the samples you looked at there mixed samples?
I refer to my tables in my report.
Sure. Go to page 2, please.
Can we go to page 3 and 4?
3 and 4, please.
With the exception of the known samples from the known individual, that was a single source sample, but otherwise the evidence samples were all mixtures.
And in many cases, there were mixtures of sometimes 4 and 5 people, correct?
Correct.
Now, when you look at mixtures, such as the ones in this case, you use terms like major and minor contributor, right?
Correct.
Is that language meant to convey that anything with respect to activity of anybody who might be assigned to that DNA weight? In other words, are you saying the person you label as a major contributor was engaged in any sort of activity? Is there any connection between the use of that language and activity?
None of the testing that I performed could speak to activity or what activity led to the deposition of the DNA.
So nothing in your report, if somebody reads that and says, oh, this one says this person is a major contributor, you're not commenting on anything about the person's activity, correct?
Correct.
And is it true also that there are also several other limitations concerning the language of your report that it's important for courts and people who are reading the report to understand?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Are there other limitations in addition to the one we just reviewed that it's important to understand about the language you use in your report.
In terms, is there something specific that you're?
Yeah, there is. Could you go to Baker Exhibit 30, page 1, for the witness only? Are you familiar with this publication?
Yes.
This is a publication by the National Institute of Standards and Technology called Forensic DNA Interpretation in Human Factors.
Correct.
This is put together as a guidance document for practitioners on what, to simplify it, essentially what to say and what not to say.
I don't know that I would call it a guidance document. NIST is not a regulatory body for DNA testing. It was a report that looked into forensic DNA reporting and specific human factors that could affect our testing. So they may have had recommendations, but as far as them being a regulatory body that's issuing guidelines, I wouldn't state that.
Okay, that's fine. Could you go to 136, please? This is big.
How may I aid you? Be careful.
Hey, Nate, I'm not sure if it's you or me, but one of us is sniffling on the mic, apparently. Everyone's talking about it in chat.
It's probably me. Trying to figure this out for you.
Okay.
Go for it.
There we go, right there. Wait, 135, I'm sorry. And then scroll down to the next page. So they're making recommendations here as to how the report should be worded, correct?
Correct.
Let me ask you whether you agree with some of these limitations, or they call them caveats. They talk about how you describe the number of contributors, and they say the true number of contributors of DNA to an item can never be known. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. They also say, let me ask one question before I ask this one, which is, do you use something called a reporting cap in all three of your reports?
Yes, so for our likelihood ratio statistics, we cap the statistic at 1 trillion. The actual number could be a lot higher. It could be quintillion, octillion. We chose 1 trillion because it has meaning, I think, to people that can understand what 1 trillion is. An octillion and a quintillion gets a little high at that point, so we cap at 1 trillion.
And they talk here, do they not, about how you convey the idea of a reporting cap? And they say the LR reporting cap was chosen because of the limitation of biostatistical modeling and independence assumptions of STR loci. Do you agree that that's why the cap is chosen?
I believe we chose our cap for the reason I stated.
Do you disagree with that statement in terms of why the cap is chosen?
I'm not familiar with the paper that's referenced there, so I would have to familiarize myself before I said I agreed or disagreed.
Fair enough. And then they also suggest that you alert in your report that profile descriptors cannot be applied to activity level issues. Do you agree with that?
Yes, so this is what you were stating about calling a major contributor. It doesn't speak to the activity that led to the DNA deposition.
Right. DNA profiles may be described as major, minor. However, these descriptors should not be interpreted in the context of a decision regarding the nature or the mechanisms, actions, or timing that led to the deposition of the DNA. You agree with that?
Correct, yes.
Right? And then the other sort of limitation, convey that the DNA results cannot be interpreted as the analyst providing an opinion regarding who the source of the DNA is.
Yes, so this is once again, we don't make source attribution statements. We will say there's support for inclusion, and then we back up that with a statistic.
So from a scientific standpoint, you couldn't read the paragraph that sets out the likelihood ratio in your report, whatever the number, and then blast a headline in the media, Mr. Robinson's DNA is found on this item. That's a source attribution, is it not?
Correct, yes.
And that would not be scientifically defensible, would it?
Correct.
Okay. Another limitation they talk about on likelihood ratios on the next page, please, 137. Likelihood ratios cannot speak to the likelihood of a proposition, only to the probability of the results given a pair of propositions. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Explain that, because that's a little above my pay grade in terms of understanding.
So a likelihood ratio statistic compares the probability of the DNA profile of the evidence given two competing hypotheses or two competing scenarios. Typically, the first is that the person of interest is included, and then the exclusionary hypothesis would be that the person of interest is excluded. So there's a random, unknown, unrelated individual contributing.
And when they're elaborating on that point, they say a likelihood ratio indicates if and to what extent the DNA analysis results support one proposition over another. It is not possible on this basis alone to determine which is the most probable proposition. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. And then the next limitation they suggest you convey is that convey the DNA statistics cannot imply uniqueness within a population. Do you agree that that's a legitimate limitation?
Yes.
And explain what that means. Does that go back to the issue of source? You can't assign a source to a DNA sample?
Correct.
Okay. It says you should delineate the meaning of a verbal qualifier, but you didn't use one in this case, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that your testing cannot, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't mischaracterize it. Your testing, none of the testing in any of the three reports can answer the question of how and when DNA got deposited. Is that true?
That is true. DNA can't speak to the activity that led to the deposition of the DNA.
And the report says, with regard to that issue, with the increased sensitivity of DNA techniques and sophisticated software, a DNA profile may be developed even when the contributor of that DNA never touched the item or area that was swapped. Alternatively, a person's DNA may be present when they were not involved in the crime. Do you agree with that?
Yes, once again, I cannot speak to the activity.
Can you explain how it's possible that a DNA profile may be developed even when the contributor of that DNA never touched the item or area that was swapped?
So it's possible if, say, the pen that you're sitting there using for the week, you say hand it off to the judge, and the judge then touches it for a period of time, and then I swab it. It doesn't speak to who handled it last. I could test that. I could get both of your profiles. I wouldn't know which person was the last person to handle that item.
All right. And similarly, if you had a lot of DNA on your hand, we shook hands. I then went to pick up an exhibit, a gun, I touched the trigger of it, your DNA could be on that trigger, right?
It is possible, yes.
Okay, even though you never touched the gun.
Yes,
And that's why, because of those possibilities, you can't make any assessment of how or when DNA got deposited, correct?
correct.
How long can DNA persist on an item?
DNA is quite stable over time. It can be broken down due to environmental insults. So things like heat and humidity are known to break down DNA over time. But I couldn't give you an exact number.
Were certain of the samples that you tested in this case degraded samples?
There was degradation present in some of the samples.
And what can cause degradation?
Like I said, there's environmental insults, heat, humidity.
AI viewers stream book. Com.
The second report that you wrote had to do with a Dremel item that was taken from Mr. Robinson's home.
Correct.
And did you request certain what are called elimination samples in regard to items that were recovered from his home?
Yes.
Tell the court what an elimination sample is as opposed to a sample that relates to what's called a POI, person of interest.
So an elimination sample is a sample taken from a known individual that it may be assumed that they could have come into contact with it. If I were to say swab your vehicle, then I would want your DNA sample as an elimination to eliminate you in order to look for any additional DNA that may be there.
And you say they're assumed contributors because depending upon the location, for instance, somebody's house, you would expect if there were multiple people in that house that perhaps everybody in the house could contribute to a certain DNA result.
It's possible.
So you'd want samples from all those folks to see if they contributed to an item that would be associated with a place where they congregated.
Correct.
And I noticed from your case file that you also requested, but I don't think you received, elimination samples from agents who were involved in this case.
Correct.
Why do you request those samples?
The type of testing we perform is quite sensitive, and so it is a standard practice that we request elimination samples from any of the investigators involved in order to potentially eliminate them in case they could have contaminated the evidence.
Okay. Now, in report number 157, if you could bring that up, please. Oliver 157, which has been admitted. The elimination samples that you requested in connection with items seized from Mr. Robinson's apartment were from Amber Robinson, Matthew Robinson, and Lance Twiggs, correct?
Correct.
And that's because you had information that those people were associated with the house.
Correct.
And when you tested or compared, first of all, you determined their DNA types, right?
Correct.
Then you compared their types to what you found on the evidence.
Correct.
And for a certain number of those samples, you found the presence of DNA of your elimination samples, not because they were suspects, but because they were associated with the premises, right?
There was support for inclusion of some of these individuals, yes.
Okay. And if you could scroll down to page
Matt, do you see the private chat I sent you?
which is
Figure this out.
I just
Yep.
want to review briefly with you.
Did you
Um,
try doing that?
I'm doing it right now.
Okay.
4, which was a swab from the rifle. You used the elimination sample of Mr. Robinson's father, and you found his DNA on that particular swab, correct?
I would say there was support for inclusion of Matthew Robinson on the sample obtained from the swabs of the vault of the rifle.
I'm glad you pointed that out. That's, again, consistent with your other testimony. you're talking again about support for inclusion as a possible contributor.
Correct. And there
Again,
would-
not because he's a suspect, but because he's associated with that premise.
Correct, and there would have been a likelihood ratio statistic calculated and to go along with that.
Okay, could you go to the next page?
I tried calling my mom.
Similarly, with respect to 1.6, you found, again, Matthew Robinson on swap number 1.6, or a profile that indicated he was a possible contributor.
There's support for inclusion of Matthew Robinson.
Okay. And next page, actually go to page 7. You found support for inclusion of Lance Twiggs on swabs of buttons of a Dremel tool, correct?
Correct.
And going back to what we were talking about before, if a person named Lance Twiggs lived in that residence, came into contact with Tyler Robinson, and then touched a button on a Dremel tool, you'd expect Mr. Robinson and Mr. Twiggs's DNA to be on there, right? Or you could.
It's reasonable to assume that anyone living in the household could have contributed to DNA on an object found in that household.
And similarly, you found profiles to suggest support for inclusion of Mr. Twiggs on other areas of the Dremel tool, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, the last area I want to ask you about is, you're familiar with something called NGS?
Yes.
What is NGS?
NGS stands for Next Generation Sequencing. It's a DNA technique that sequences your DNA, so it looks at the individual sequence of your DNA.
And is it true that in your field, that whole area of NGS is something that's at the forefront of everybody's attention? For instance, when you go to seminars and you look at the presentations, there's a lot of talk about NGS, right?
That's correct. Yes, it's a newer technique.
And is it being developed by ATF as a technique that's going to be used or has been used?
Not at this time, no.
And is there plans to do that?
Not at this time, no.
Okay. Do you know if
I believe there may be some laboratories in the United States that have it in use, but I wouldn't have direct knowledge of that.
now you used a program in this case called STR Mix, correct?
Correct.
And that's sold by a company in New Zealand, that software?
Correct.
Have they developed another program called STR Mix NGS?
I'm not aware of NGS software.
Could you go to 156, Oliver 156?
I don't know. 1,800.
Let me know when you're there. Are you aware that the developers are selling a product called STR Mix NGS?
I was not aware, no.
Okay. Now, sequencing analysis is different than what you did in this case, correct?
Correct.
And how so?
As I said, sequencing is looking at the individual sequence, the individual bases that make up your DNA, as opposed to the testing that I'm performing, which is looking at length variations. So STR testing, which is the testing I perform, looks at areas of the DNA that are known to be highly variable between individuals. And there are areas where the DNA sequence repeats itself over and over again. And depending on who you are as an individual, you may have a different number of repeats present at that location. So the testing we're performing is looking at those length variations. There's a distinction between, say, if you have 10 repeats versus
They haven't
12
updated
repeats.
that? That's so gay.
But you're not looking within those lengths to see what the sequence of the DNA is.
Correct.
And that's what this new technology is designed to look at.
Correct.
And the reason it's designed to look at that is because it's been found that there are DNA areas that are different in sequence, even though they're the same length. Is that true?
I think the reason for developing NGS software is to add another tool to a forensic biologist tool belt.
Okay. Now, could you go to 154, please, for the witness only? You're familiar with this chart?
Yes.
Okay, this lists all the alleles that you found for all the testing in your 3 analysis, correct?
No, it looks like
No, you were right, 154. Yeah, this is one. What's the exhibit on this? Okay. You're familiar with this chart, right?
I reviewed the first page of this chart. I have
Sure.
not reviewed the entire
Go to the
thing.
first page. This lists the alleles that you found, correct?
For the known samples, yes.
Okay, now go to the second page. And is it true that for the alleles of interest in this case, one of the alleles of interest is at the D3 location, allele 17?
One of the locations that we look at on the DNA strand is called D3. That's a location, yes.
Right, and in this case, the 17 allele is important because Mr. Robinson had a 17 allele, correct?
Correct.
And some of the evidence had a 17 allele
Correct.
at that location.
Correct.
So as I understand the way you do this, you look and compare whether those are the same number, basically.
I wouldn't state that's how we do our comparison. So it's not just number matching. We're using STRmix, the StarMix software, in order to perform an analysis of the software that looks at the possibilities for a DNA profile and make comparison to the knowns that way. We aren't using a chart and just doing number matching.
Yeah, and I wasn't suggesting you did, but you're looking at the alleles and measuring the peaks, and it's a fairly sophisticated process, correct?
Correct.
But the bottom,
So obviously he's going deep into this allele thing, talking about a bunch of DNA and everything. He's not really getting anywhere yet, and I'm still listening. But welcome Nissy Social. She's our special guest.
Hello. I was listening earlier. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Sounds good.
I was listening earlier, and people were guessing who your guest was going to be. Someone said Charlie Kirk, and I was like, oh no, it's hard to disappoint, guys. It's just me. It's not Baron. It's not Charlie. It's Nissy.
All right, and what we're gonna do is, I think they're gonna be doing lunch or something here pretty soon. So we'll keep this rolling, and then we'll be able to talk and do supers and all that.
Awesome. I'm just getting my side over here set up. This is my first time meeting you guys. Hello.
If you haven't followed Nissy before, it's Nissy Social. She has a good following on multiple platforms, but she's been covering the case, and she has a bunch of other like documentary style videos and stuff too that are awesome. So show her some love.
Thank you.
I would invoke it.
I knew it, that I will leave for 30 seconds and Nisi will join. Hi.
Cassia, hello. But we're going to be talking tomorrow.
Exactly.
Objection.
Guys, tomorrow Nisi on my channel, by the way. So join us.
it's true, is it not, that at least 1, 2, 3, 5 of the locations of interest in this case, researchers have found that the alleles that you were looking at, these isoalleles, have different sequences but the same length.
Objection. Relevance. The witness has testified she does not do sequencing analysis here, and that's what the question is asking, is about sequencing analysis.
Counsel.
The point, though, is that her testing cannot distinguish between these isoalleles, and therefore it goes to the weight of the comparisons.
But if she didn't do that,
Yeah, that's the point, is that she didn't do it, and therefore she's not in a position to draw conclusions.
Mr. McBride.
That proffer is inaccurate. that she's not able to draw conclusions because she did not do NGS or sequencing analysis. She has testified that her lab and the analysis she did here is not sequencing analysis, it's something different. Whether or not she could do sequencing analysis is irrelevant to the analysis that she did do. If Mr. Burt wants to call an expert to say sequencing analysis is better or something like that, that's fine. But this expert does not do sequencing analysis. Therefore, the line of questioning that goes into sequencing analysis is irrelevant to her testimony.
Let me see if I could lay a further foundation.
All right, so I'm going to sustain the objection. The question may be asked if council chooses.
When you do your analysis using length only, do you go by the rule that if any STR locus fails to match when comparing the genotypes between two or more samples, then the comparison of profiles between the question and reference sample is usually declared a non-match, regardless of how many other loci match?
No, it's not quite that simple. What you're speaking of is an exclusion, is that correct?
Yeah, right.
So it's possible for DNA evidence we spoke about, it's possible that DNA evidence be degraded. In a case like that, there may be the potential that some of the profile has what we call dropped out. So it's not present. In that case, we wouldn't expect necessarily to have a inclusion or exclusion at that location because there's no information present there. So it's not quite as simple as is every allele in this chart present in the evidence. There's more to it than that.
If you had a difference in sequence between a known and a question across many loci, would you exclude the person?
It depends.
Again, objection, Your Honor. We're going back into sequencing, which is not the analysis that was done in this case.
Mr. Burt.
Again, Your Honor, if there could be an exclusion based on this and the testing was not done, I think that is relevant.
But as it relates to this witness and her firsthand knowledge, I'm not seeing that tie-in as it relates to her.
All right, let me move on then.
So
This lawyer's struggling, man.
And you said that all the samples you looked at in that one report were mixtures, correct?
Correct.
And the number you get in the likelihood ratio depends on how many contributors you estimate, right? The number is going to vary if you say I think it's a mixture of 2 people versus I think it's a mixture of 5 people.
It's not necessarily the number of contributors. The likelihood ratio speaks to the weight of the evidence. And so it's comparing known individuals to the unknown sample. It could be a low number and be a single source sample. It could be a high number and be a 4-person mixture. It's not necessarily directly correlated with the number of contributors.
Let me ask you if you agree with this. This is from the NIST mixture study. A likelihood ratio numeric value is not a measurement of a physical quantity. Do you agree with that?
Correct.
Rather, it is a ratio of probabilities in the opinion of the expert assessing the likelihood ratio and is dependent on the specific propositions used to formulate it and also on the individual making the assessment.
Correct. Yes, I agree.
And does the final likelihood ratio depend on the number of contributors you assume?
No, it does not.
It has no effect whatsoever.
It can have an effect. It's possible. It's possible multiple other factors could contribute to the likelihood ratio.
Is it somehow difficult to figure out how many contributors there are in a sample?
I guess I would say that I use my
Yes, Queen.
my training, education, and experience in order to determine the number of contributors present in a profile.
Well, I noticed throughout your report you used the phrase, for instance, with regard to the 1.2 sample, the profile consistent with at least five contributors, at least one of which is male. And for 1-1, you say the profile is consistent with at least 4 contributors. I assume by the word at least, you're signaling that it could be more.
Correct.
And as the number of people to a mixture increases, the difficulty in sorting out that mixture increases as well, correct?
Correct.
I noticed in your standard operating procedure, there's some guidance on interpreting 3-person mixtures. Familiar with that, right?
Yes.
And it says, and correct me if I'm wrong, approximately 70% of 4-person mixtures present as 2 or 3-person mixtures, based solely on number of alleles present.
It's possible for them to present.
5.
Well, it
But
doesn't
I
say
may or may not
it's
show up
possible. It
early.
says, for example, approximately, in
Says
all
Brian's
cases,
gonna be
assuming
there.
a mixture is a result of the combination of 3 people must be done with caution. For example, approximately 70% of 4-person mixtures present as 2 or 3-person mixtures, based solely on number of alleles present.
You said you're referencing my SOP.
Yes,
Is it possible for me to take a look at?
sure.
Your Honor, I'm going to object at this point. The point that defense counsel is getting at is made in the last answer, which is the difficulty of sorting out mixtures increases as the number of contributors increases. That's all understood, but that has nothing to do with the probable cause determination. Even if it's difficult, the inferences and the evidence is weighed in favor of the state. The court cannot weigh the difficulty in determining this evidence. Is it fair for a trier of fact at a jury? Sure it is. But we're now getting into weight issues that are relevant for a jury, but not for this court.
Well, he's implying this is going to be an extended discussion. I have one question which he wants to look at her manual to make sure it's in there. So, and then I'm done.
Why?
I'll allow this question.
Is that gonna be a
I'll
reading
the
spot?
objection. She may review the material. and
So could you bring up
Question to be rephrased.
one, exhibit Oliver 148?
What? Did you just make that up? A foreign forge?
That's,
What are
this
you
is
gonna do
your
out there?
SOP document, correct?
Slap your pussy guns?
And then go to page 83.
Put the bean out there? You're demented. What is that?
Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
And so it's true, is it not, that approximately 70% of 4-person mixtures present as 2 or 3-person mixtures?
It's possible.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. We've been going for a bit, and depending on how much to cross, I'm trying to decide if a break is warranted or if Mr. McBride, you wish your cross is limited. Again, not trying to say which way you should go. I'm just trying to weigh whether we should take a break.
It'll probably be 20 minutes.
What are you looking for?
All right, let's just keep going, and then at that point, we can take a break. Thank you, Mr. McBride.
Oh, I only have one. The honor is there.
Did he manage to do anything with this?
Not yet.
He's done this for 2 days, DNA stuff, and really hasn't made a point yet. So
Yeah, exactly.
Of course you need to.
She's so over it. She's like, can I go?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Is your lab accredited?
Yes, it is.
What does that mean?
So our laboratory goes through a voluntary accreditation process where a external third party comes in and audits our laboratory to a set of
Oh.
standards. Specifically, the ATF laboratory is accredited, and specifically the DNA section of the ATF laboratory is accredited to 2 sets of standards. One is an international set of standards called ISO 17025 for testing laboratories, and additionally, a DNA-specific set of standards put forth by the FBI.
Does the accreditation require that the methodologies you use be validated?
Yes.
The methodologies used in this case have been accepted by courts across the country, correct?
Correct.
Does the accreditation require that forensic biologists like yourself satisfy certain qualification standards?
Yes, we're required to perform competency testing prior to participating in casework. And additionally, we participate in twice a year proficiency testing.
And do you satisfy the competency and qualification standards required by accreditation?
Yes.
And at the time you did the testing in this case, did you satisfy those standards?
Yes.
Moving to your opinions, where on the firearm did you find evidentiary support for the inclusion of Tyler Robinson?
There were several locations. I'd have to refer to my report.
Okay, would you look at your report? And this is, it looks like report number, or exhibit number 30. We can pull that up just for the witness.
So someone in the chat said that they managed, what they are getting at is that they didn't take samples from the agents, people who handled DNA and all those things, that there is no results for those things.
We had it for a minute here. Let it go. Okay, if we could go to page number 2, please. Will you just list off the areas of that firearm where there was support for evidentiary support for inclusion of Tyler Robinson?
The swabs of the stock and grips of rifle, the swabs of the butt plate of rifle, swabs of the trigger and trigger guard of rifle with possible ridge detail / smudging, the swabs of the bolt of the rifle with possible ridge detail / smudging, and the swabs of the forend of the rifle.
We go to page 3.
Swabs of the barrel of the rifle with possible ridge detail / smudging, the swabs of possible ridge detail / smudging on the optical accessory.
And page 4.
The swabs of the protected underside of the receiver of the rifle after disassembly. The swabs of one 30-06 cartridge case. The swabs of one 30-06 cartridge. And the swabs of one 30-06 cartridge.
I want to ask you about a couple of those conclusions. Let's look at page 5, please. And calculation number 3, exhibit 1.3, do you know where that swab was taken from?
I'd have to refer back to page 2.
Can we refer back to page 2, please, Kimberly? Thank you.
The 1.3 is the swabs of the trigger and trigger guard of the rifle.
All right, going back to page 5. And we've had some talk, some testimony from you and some questions for you about the likelihood ratios. What was your conclusion as to the likelihood ratio that you analyzed in this question, calculation number 3?
For this exhibit, the DNA profile was at least 1 trillion times more likely if it originated from Tyler Robinson as the major component and 3 unknown unrelated individuals than if it originated from 4 unrelated individuals.
You say at least 1 trillion times more likely. So it could be a much higher number than 1 trillion. Is that accurate?
It's possible.
But the protocols in your laboratory say you cap that at the number 1 trillion. Is that right?
Correct. We would not report a number higher than 1 trillion.
And it looks like you also did a probability statistic as well in paragraph E. Is that right?
Correct. It's another way of stating the likelihood ratio statistic.
And will you state your findings you made here in paragraph E, and that's on page 6?
The probability of an unrelated individual in the population who has not contributed DNA to the sample yielding this level of support is less than 1 in a trillion.
And same question there. The trillion number, it could be far less than that, but you stop your calculations of the statistics at 1 trillion. Is that right?
Correct.
Let us move to page 7 with regard to statistical analysis calculation number 7. Now, do you remember what 1.3 or 1.13 and 2.1 are?
I'd have to refer back to page 3, I believe.
You could jump to page 3. Thank you, Kimberly.
Page 4, sorry.
Page 4.
The 1.13 is the swabs of the protected underside of the receiver of the rifle after disassembly. And 2.1 is the swabs of 1.30-06 cartridge case.
Now, did you do the swabs themselves?
I did not.
And 2.1 is a cartridge case. Is that right?
Correct.
And what's the difference between a cartridge case and a cartridge?
The cartridge is unfired, cartridge case has been fired.
Let's jump back to page 7. And what was your conclusion with regard to, well, first of all, why do you group these two together, exhibits 1.13 and 2.1 in your conclusions here?
They were both mixtures of 2 individuals, and they both yielded a likelihood ratio of the same magnitude, so they can be grouped together.
Okay. It's not that they were tested together?
Correct.
It's just that the results were of the same magnitude, so they were reported together. Is that right?
Correct.
All right. What was your conclusion as it relates to both of these as to the likelihood ratio?
The DNA profiles are at least 1 trillion times more likely if they originated from Tyler Robinson as the major contributor and an unknown unrelated individual than if they originated from 2 unknown unrelated individuals.
And did you make a conclusion here as well about the a probability statistic?
Yes, so the probability of an unrelated individual in the population who has not contributed DNA to these samples yielding this level of support, so meaning yielding this likelihood ratio, is less than 1 in a trillion.
Nothing else.
Mr. Burt.
The 1.3 sample is described as swabs of trigger and trigger guard, right?
Correct.
You didn't do the swabs, but am I correct that you have no way of knowing which part was from the trigger and which part was from the trigger guard?
Correct. So they were swabbed together, so I wouldn't be able to say where the DNA came from.
And that's one of the samples that was degraded, correct?
There were signs of degradation present in that sample, yes.
And you said with regard to that sample that that was a sample consistent with at least 4 contributors, right?
Correct.
And did what you term the major profile have the largest amount of degradation in that sample?
There was, yes.
And you can't tell us anything about when the DNA was deposited on the trigger guard or the trigger, correct?
Correct.
You can tell us anything about whether, when you say it's at least 4, it could be 5, 6, or 7 people with DNA on that trigger or trigger guard, correct?
Correct, which is why we have the major contributor that is suitable for comparison, and the minor contributor is not suitable for comparison due to that complexity.
And again, major, minor just has to do with the levels of DNA you were seeing. It has nothing to do with someone being engaged in activity that is major in relation to the minor contributor.
Yes, so the major contributor is the majority of the DNA contributed to that sample.
Okay. And some of these samples, you have major contributors of more than one person, right?
Correct.
So for sample 1.1, swabs of stock, you have 2 major profiles, and there are at least 4 contributors on that sample, right?
Can I refer to my report?
Sure. It's Exhibit 30. Plaintiff's 30. Right?
He's making good points, but come on, man.
You said
I
exhibit.
don't think DNA is the
Yes.
way to go for them, to be honest.
Yes, it was a mixture of 4 individuals. There were 2 major contributors.
Okay.
I mean, this is interesting. 4 different people's DNA on the rifle.
And again,
Definitely relevant.
all these samples, no way of knowing when or how the DNA got on those samples, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so I mean, the fact that it could be any of these 4 or 5 different people or more, right? He said it could be more people too, and the only reason they can isolate him is because he's assumed to be the major, so they
Yep.
test it that way.
Yep.
So it's biased.
It's called a random match probability statistic? Or is that something else?
It itself is not a random match probability statistic. It is a way to represent the likelihood ratio similar to a random match probability.
But it's still a likelihood ratio computation, right?
Correct. It's based off the likelihood ratio
And
computation.
it's still subject to all the limitations we've talked about.
Correct.
Can't attribute it to any person. Can't state it's infallible. Can't state there's a 0 error rate. And you can't state that it is a source connected with any one person, correct?
Right. So part of not being able to state source attribution is the reason we report the likelihood ratio statistic. It speaks to the weight of the evidence. And so yes, we can't do a source attribution, and we report that statistic and address that uncertainty that way.
And address the uncertainty along with the other limitations we talked about.
Correct.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Anything further for this witness?
We're gonna have a break now.
All right. May this witness be excused. All right. Thank you, ma'am. I step down. Anything further from the defense? All right. Returning to prosecution, anything further?
No, Judge, we have no rebuttal evidence to present at this hearing. The state has no rebuttal evidence to present at this hearing. However, before we break, there is the matter that was discussed yesterday with respect to publishing
Erica Kirk.
in the courtroom Exhibit 12.1, so that the victim's family can observe that.
Thank you. All right, do the parties wish to be heard as it relates to this briefly, and then the court will issue its ruling. And
Your Honor, I actually just want to make a quick record. We have advised Mr. Robinson of his right to testify at this hearing, and he is choosing to take our advice and not testify.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say
I was like,
that would have been wild.
all right, just in regards to
why are they showing him?
outstanding issue about the
They can show him.
publication of state's exhibit
Not Erica, right?
to the
They've shown her
to persons
in the courtroom.
Accidentally,
she,
I think.
Yeah, she made sure to
Yeah.
walk right in front of the camera to show that she was crying to everyone. But yeah,
testifying on behalf of the victim. My understanding is you ruled yesterday that you were going to play it, and you did grant our request. So I don't know if
Thank you.
He won't even respond to that lawyer anymore.
He's just like,
Judge, I might just simply add, given the court's ruling this morning with respect to displaying exhibits, may want to make a record with the live streaming folks here that it's not going to be published.
Thank you. All right. Nothing further from any of the parties. Okay. Just taking some notes. All right. The court wishes to readdress yesterday's ruling in light of this morning's sanction as it relates to Exhibit 16. Court separately addressed that incident and imposed a sanction on the record. Having considered all applicable public access, fair trial, privacy, and victims' rights interests, the court adheres to its prior ruling. The court finds that temporarily limiting live stream to audio only while Exhibit 12.1 is displayed is necessary to prevent the inadvertent publication of the exhibit from being transmitted to outside the courtroom, and no broader and is taking the least restrictive means to accomplish what is being requested. Accordingly, Exhibit 12.1 may be viewed by all persons physically present in the courtroom, including victim representative Ms. Kirk in her capacity as the victim representative. The same in-court viewing rules applies to all parties and courtroom attendees. Let's go ahead and proceed to that, to the state. So I'll have the camera operator let me know when we're switched to an audio only. We are? Okay. All right. And as it's switched to audio only, to the state, now my understanding there's no audio on this surveillance on 12.1. Is that correct? All right.
You just said it was
which
surveillance.
one are they?
Play that.
We don't know. They're not going to show us.
But he said surveillance,
I'm gonna
something.
quote that this also applies to the still photographer. It cannot be captured the screen in any way. I noted video recording, but I intend as well as no still capture of any of the monitors during the publication of 12.1. All right. And to the state, just let me know if you're ready. Let's go ahead and play it.
So I believe what they're showing is the zoomed in footage of Tyler on the roof. Which
that's important.
Doesn't sound, yeah, it doesn't sound like there's much there though, because I mean we've
It's gonna
seen
be blurry, no?
Yeah, we've seen
So
the
that-
zoomed in footage when he's running away off the building, like how terrible it is. It's not going to be much better if you backtrack it a little bit before that. So yeah, we'll see.
Is it that same camera angle that we've all seen?
Yep, that's all they got.
They're
Is
just
that one
a little
big shot
dot.
at the roof that where we can't see
little
anything.
dot
Yeah,
and-
that's all they have of him on the roof apparently. So
Yeah.
that's just the zoomed in version of that, which we've all seen that 100 times. You can't see. You can see a little black figure, a little
Yeah.
black stick figure, man. But that's it.
What evidentiary value is there in playing a zoomed in version of that grainy video for the court?
Well, all they
Maybe-
have is the sequence that they see him arriving and walking this way, and then. But again, it's a figure, and they're just assuming it's Tyler, right?
Well, they're saying it is.
Saying, yeah.
They're stating, yes, you're right.
I
just remember from.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, I just remember from yesterday what this is. This is specifically the first evidence they tried to submit that had the zoom in with the circle that drew around it and all that stuff. So this
Yeah.
is the edited version of the video, like the
Yeah.
TikTok version, I call it.
Yep.
People asking in chat. Well, first of all, everyone hit that like, subscribe to everybody that's on the panel, show them some love. Secondly, someone asked, They said, "Is this Sabby Sabs?" No, this is Nissy. This is Nissy Social. They
Not
said,
all black people look alike, guys.
they said Sabby Sabs has bangs. That's what it
Is
says.
it Candace?
Hey, well, in fairness,
I'm
Missy-
Candace Owens.
In
Yeah,
fairness,
on the-
Missy, one of our biggest arguments for Tyler right now is that all white people look alike. So,
Yep.
Well,
based
obviously.
off,
I
Mr.
can't even
Lyko
tell
said
the
that.
difference between Tyler and Lance. I don't know which one. And like, I thought one of them was supposed to be a girl.
he was, but he's not. I guess that narrative apparently wasn't the real narrative.
Only at nighttime, I guess.
His voice. His voice is stuck in my head.
It's creepy,
Like,
man.
I think of
It's
every
creepy.
psychotic serial killer in a movie. Like, I don't know. It's hard to shake. And that blank stare, no emotion.
Did you guys? There's reports on it now. The group chat's talking about. Did you hear about what Erica did last night and at the end of the trial?
What she did?
Nope.
So apparently she was crying and had tissues, refused to wipe her face so she could get like the mascara running. And at the end of the trial, she stood and waited while everyone left and just stared at the judge. And she was the last person to leave the courtroom.
reported
As she
that?
stood there with mascara running down her face, just glaring at the judge. There's a bunch of reports coming out about it right now. People in the courtroom.
I mean, Brandy and all them are in the courtroom, so they probably saw it.
You want to talk about dramatic? Yeah.
That's something she would do.
I'm not kidding. There's a bunch of reports about it. We're getting in the group chat.
And like we said, if that judge doesn't conform, he's going to have some problems.
It says sources from the courtroom yesterday said when court adjourned, Erica Kirk made it a point to be the last one to leave. She stood up, staring at the judge with mascara running. Can't say for how long, but I'm told up here though she was making an impression on the judge. Erica has gone viral multiple times for her signature tissues, but yesterday she made it a point to let her mascara run all the way down her face and refused to wipe it away. So yeah, that sounds pretty performative, but
Well, that woman from 2 days ago should have returned the favor and handed her a tissue. You see these articles? Must articles.
That's a really long clip.
Sheridan's there today.
Wasn't that
Did you guys
funny?
hear that?
Well, thank you.
Am I
Yes.
going crazy?
What were you saying, Misty?
What the hell was
Was
that?
Stacey Sheridan there today?
I think she's there every day, yep. And we had, who was it? Trump Jr. was there the first 2 days. Posobiec is there. Tatum's there. Who else?
My
There's
favorite, my favorite about sorry,
Graham
go ahead.
Allen.
Oh, Graham, of course, is there. Old Fed Graham. My favorite with Tatum is he's there faking interviews as if people are walking up to him, but he's actually just got like probably a buddy there, like walking up to him with the camera. And second thing I love about it, he's there to support Erica Kirk and TPUSA, but friendly reminder, they didn't even invite him to the memorial. That giant memorial where everyone in the world was invited, they made it a big point not to invite him specifically, but he's inserted himself as a friend of the family now.
Friend of the channel.
Guess we can do some super chats while we're sitting here waiting. I've got it
Yes.
figured
Did you guys-
out. Yeah, I've got a second. I had to go to a different browser, couldn't use Chrome. Matt nuked the stream, guys. So all that time I was trying to figure out how to become a producer on Matt's stream so that I can show you the super chats. I can't tell. I'm assuming yours still works the same way. Does this look like yours or mine, Matt, on your screen?
Looks like mine.
Okay, so they're backwards, I think, right now for me.
So is this yours then or mine?
I don't know. You tell me. I'm in a different weird producer browser right now. Does it show it as yours or does it show it as mine? Does it got a little chain link on it?
There's no chain link.
Okay, so
I
these
don't
are
even
yours.
know what you're showing right now.
Oh, can you not see it?
Yes, I see. I
Yeah,
found
the
it.
super chats.
I
Matt,
had to
Matt,
scroll.
when he closed the browser out, nuked all his super chats, so he didn't have any more super chats, and he's the
Well,
only one that could
not
bring
all
them
of
up.
them. Not all the
So-
super chats. Just the
so-
ones before it happened. Yeah.
I had to become a producer of a show to be able to where I can pull them up now.
Well,
So we should be good now. So this is yours, Matt, right?
All right. Jennifer Buscemi, thanks for the super. Someone mentioned that TR is left-handed. If true, this would prone position be set up different than what was found on the roof. Someone actually said he was right-handed. I think it was Ali Topfile said he was right-handed, so I'm not sure on that one.
It's also not guaranteed. I know a lot of people that may be right or left-handed that don't shoot or right or left-handed. You shoot based off of your dominant eye typically, or you're supposed to, not based off of which hand you are. So keep that in mind.
Are these all still mine that way?
They're somebody's. I'm assuming not mine.
You skipped mine. Mr.
This
Producer.
Is it this one? I'm going. This is all the. These are straight down the line now. So maybe.
Maybe they got mixed up. It's fine.
What about what's yours say? What's the name on yours?
It says Deb De Curtis. It's a yellow one.
Sorry, guys. We're trying to figure this out. Let me see.
It's his
it might
first
be
day
that
on the job, guys.
we've definitely never done this before. The way we're trying to figure it out. So Deb the 7:58 a.m. I'm working two different browsers here.
Oh, you know what it is? You're seeing the same ones I'm seeing. You're seeing the ones since it happened. That's what's going on. Because I see the same thing you do, but I don't see anything before that.
And I see all of them.
Yeah. So okay. Well, this isn't gonna work, I guess. Because I see Deb here.
Yeah. We'll start from what we have, and then we can go back to the larger ones afterwards and just read them directly from your own list.
We could also, yeah, we could do that. I was gonna say what we also could do is just share my actual screen, and then just look off the super chats that way. But all right, I guess this isn't gonna work. This is weird because the timestamps 7:58 a.m. But yeah, it's not there.
I think there might be bug.
All right, we'll figure it out here in a sec.
Josh Chaplin, I noticed a small detail yesterday that stood out. The ATF report on the bullet fragments was dated 9/11/25. The autopsy was not completed at that time. Interesting.
All right, I'm just gonna let you do it from where you're at, Matt, and we'll figure it out after that.
Okay. Aussie for Aussies, thanks for the super and being a channel member. And Lance, lead actor in Bad Boy Bubby. Bad Boy Bubby.
I don't think you lost that many, Matt. I think you missed like 6.
Okay.
Yeah. Is the next one on yours from Michelle?
Nope. Jennifer.
Jennifer. So you randomly lost just intermittent ones through the timeline.
Yeah, I think the API skipped out during that time period.
All right, sorry guys. We'll have to Matt load this whole thing. That we're gonna.
We'll make it work. My browser crashed, so I didn't do it on purpose. The browser crashed when I came back in. The ones previous, and it's not like they're gone. They're in each of our YouTube studios.
We can see them. We just can't pull them up. We'll come back to them. We'll come back to them.
Oh, we're back live.
Transmission may resume. Just let me know when that is live. All right, thank you. Does either party need the benefit of the record?
State does not.
No, Your Honor.
So this preliminary hearing is continued to September 1st at 10 a.m. for an in-person hearing. The court will allocate up to 4 hours total for argument. That's encompassing both parties. Does the defense request that Mr. Robinson be physically present for that hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we'll make the recording. Thank
Oh, there's another one over here?
The court appreciates the professionalism, civility, and respect shown by counsel, the parties, and all persons in attendance throughout these proceedings.
I know that.
As there are no further matters before the court, this proceeding is adjourned until September 1st at 10 a.m. Good
That's
afternoon.
it, huh?
They meant it when they said it would be quick.
There you
Seems
go.
like they could have just done the 4-hour hearing they were going to do on September 1st. Seems like they could have just done it today. They had time for it.
So did anything come out of today?
No.
Was it scheduled to be a full day today, originally?
Well, yesterday they both agreed that it wouldn't go to like 5 p.m. their time. It would be like shorter, but this is a lot shorter. We were expecting like at least another couple hours.
Yeah.
But
That's it. That's the prosecution's case. We saw all their evidence.
It's,
Not
I saw a
much.
post. I saw a post on X where someone compared the security footage from Dairy Queen to everything that we've seen. It's like everything of Tyler Robinson from UVU is blurry, but like Dairy Queen has like top notch footage. Like everyone else on the planet has like decent quality cameras in front of their homes and in their cars and everything. But UVU, everything is potatoes.
Even though their
Potato
cameras
can.
are all brand new.
Conveniently.
They're all brand new, I guess, as of like the last year. So pretty weird. I don't know. What's everybody think about the overall trial and the evidence and the prosecution's case?
I think Officer Bagley is very interesting. Like you got an epiphany. So you see this pistol holder on the ground and you get an epiphany. Oh no, that couldn't have been, like a handgun. That must have been a rifle. And he zeroes in on the one roof that like if you're just standing there in that space, there's so many options. There are so many options. He zeroes in on the Losi Center, and the first time he was speaking, he didn't even mention that there was someone with him that went to the Losi Center building. It wasn't until the defense did their cross that came out, and he's like, "Well, I don't know who that person was. They're just someone in plain clothes, and they presented a badge, so I let them come with me." In light of everything that's going on, that was okay to you?
Well, at first he said, "I don't know. He had a gun," and then she said, "Well, who was it?" And he said, "I don't know. He had a badge." It's like, oh, okay. In the middle of an active shooting event, you see it with a guy with a gun, and your first instinct is like, "Hey, bro, let's head up to the roof."
Yeah, let's head up to the roof.
And then my
specific
body
room,
camera,
that was.
my body camera foot just accidentally turns off the second I get to the top of the roof.
But not only this, he was with another person, guys. And then they asked him, okay, who was the other person? I don't know who that was.
The
He
guy
had a
with the
badge.
gun.
Like you don't, you don't ask.
What I would like to know, I hope we get to see the body cam footage, because he had been at work for like an hour 44 minutes, and correct me if I'm wrong, isn't the body cam footage only 27 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So when did you turn it on?
He said he turned it. I don't know if he said when he turned it on. I know he said when it turned off, and that was right before he stepped out onto the roof. It died.
So Nate, what's
But
standard
he was-
procedure? Is it supposed to be started the
Yeah.
second they start their shift, or is it just per incident?
Typically, well, it depends on what they're doing, right? If you're a traffic cop, it's going to be, you're going to turn it on before you get out of your car and go, do what you're going to do. Same thing if you're, responding to a scene, you're going to turn it on before you respond to the scene. So technically, did he need it on while he's just like standing there observing things, not talking to people? Maybe not. But I mean, body camera footage, the body cameras are designed to last their entire shifts, 12, 14-hour shifts,
Yes.
right? So the idea that his camera died, at most, to what Nissy said, like an hour and 20 minutes into it, at most, not a thing, right? It's just, unless he just didn't recharge it and like just ignored the fact that it beeps at you and tells you it's going to die, and was like, well. I know in Oregon, right? Because I train SWAT teams and sheriff's departments here. Like, you get fired for that. If you just accidentally didn't turn your body camera on and that goes to court, everything gets thrown out. Like you're hosed. So, but of course, it's par for the Charlie Kirk case here, where something weird has to happen, right? It can't just be normal.
I want to know who Tyler Robinson was speaking to. He spoke to a TPUSA staff member. Who's that?
If you
Why
look
aren't
on
they-
X,
Right, and like we have all of this grainy footage. That person should be able to testify and say, yeah, that was the guy I spoke to. That's the guy that was wearing the red shirt, the gray hat. Why aren't they there? Why are we hearing from them?
Blake Neff says he knows who it is, but he's not
He
going to
needs to tell
tell you
us.
because they didn't do anything wrong.
And it might be true, because look, if we play devil's advocate, right? If Taylor was like scouting the area, he might have approached someone who was setting up for the event from TPUSA, one of the team members, and be like, okay, what time Charlie will be arriving approximately, so he could plan his day out, right? So it could have been innocent, nothing nefarious. I mean, very nefarious from his side, but not from TPUSA's side.
Sure.
But the fact that they use the word meet, this is chocolate theory, okay, guys? Because they could have said he approached someone from the staff members, but he said he met someone. So that gives me a bit of a pause here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to respond to what you were saying, Cassia, it was advertised what time the thing was going to start. Like they had it on their social media, like on Facebook, they had it on Instagram. It's going to be at the UVU courtyard at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
So he would have known where and when this event was happening. So you don't need to ask someone specifically from TPUSA what time it's going to start. And I think that's actually pretty arrogant if you know that you're going to be doing what you're going to do, to actually go to a staff member and ask them a question. I want to know who he spoke to.
Well, he obviously,
Yeah.
to your point, is he obviously knew the schedule because he drove from 3.5 hours away, and he knew how early he had to leave at 4 a.m. So he knew when the event was going to be. He knew when Charlie Kirk was presenting, obviously. So it's not like he showed up and was like, "Where's this going to be? What time is this thing at?" Like he knew that ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a CNN report that 2 weeks before this event at UVU, someone was seen like hopping over the railing and standing in that area on the Losi Center building. And I think there was a student and a professor who were like, "Are you okay? Like, what's going on?" And the person didn't respond. And I want to know if that's going to come up at the trial, and if they were able to look at the cameras and see who that person may have been.
I mean, they could also very easily check Tyler's metadata. If he took his phone a week earlier and drove down to UVU, they would know that as well.
You know, guys, what I noticed as well on the spaces, on X Spaces with Blake, when he was answering questions, there was something interesting as well. When they asked him, "Did you have 2 phones on the day?" And he said, you know, defensively, he was, no, I didn't. I don't know if you remember, and there is a clip of it from one of the early shows, Charlie Kirk shows after the September 10th. And he was saying, "I called my mom on my other phone." I will quote it. I will find this clip. He said it. And that's why they were asking him on X Spaces, "Did you have 2 phones on that day?" And he said no. But he explicitly said, "I called my mom." I think it was called my mom or someone. And on my other phone. So that's interesting to me as well.
Why deny having another phone? Like if you,
I don't know.
You work at this high professional job, it's actually very common to have a work phone and a personal phone. So like no one would think that's inherently weird.
Yes, exactly. It wasn't weird when they were saying that about Mikey as well. Oh, he had 2 phones. They were carrying 2 phones. I'm like, yeah, okay. If you ever worked in corporate job, yes, you have a work phone. It's normal. You have 2 phones. You have 3 phones, especially if you're in social media, in marketing. Yeah, you're going to have all these apps and chats and stuff. So yeah, it's normal. I don't know why it would be denied. And that's why it stuck with me. What else stuck with me from that conversation? When he said he stayed in Orem overnight.
He's like, "I don't know where I was. I got off the plane and I don't know where I was."
Yeah.
Exactly. But he stayed in Orem overnight, and then he said he was at the hotel, and they asked him if he left the hotel. And he was like,
maybe.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Like, yeah. Maybe I would get hungry probably. And we're like, you would know.
Isn't this
Weird stuff.
isn't this though just the pattern with TPUSA is lying about trivial things that don't matter and then getting caught? There's dozens of examples of this, right? Like, for example, the thing about one of your representatives talked to Tyler Robinson. You just omitted that, or Andrew Colvett multiple times with the surgeon's steel neck surgeon story, which we now know is completely made up. That never happened. Like, why did you lie about that? Like, we could go down the line. Charlie's text messages. You all said, right? This never happened. Candace Owens puts them on the screen and goes, "Here they are," and then you go, "Well, yeah, actually this did happen, but you keep lying about all these trivial things that don't matter over and over and over and over again, and we're supposed to not find that suspicious? Like, these aren't, again, they're not things they needed to lie about."
Yeah. Exactly. You don't need to lie about those things. That's why it looks weird.
But lying about those things puts attention on it so that they focus on that instead of the other stuff.
True.
Kind of a good strategy.
Yeah.
don't
I still
think
want
that
Erica
that-
to answer for the whole Charles Barkley thing. Erica claims that Charles Barkley coached her when she was 5 years old while he was playing at
Wait,
top
what?
levels in the NBA. I need her to answer to that. I need her to answer
Oh,
to
I've
that.
never heard that.
I did a video on it, and I made a joke about how she lies with her whole chest. And after I said that, they started accusing Candace of lying with her whole chest. I'm like, oh, you guys watch my video.
I've noticed that too. Yes, they do watch our videos. Believe me, they do.
100%.
Because when I did a video about Erica's parents, and I questioned it, and that was like around the same time that
saw that.
Candace did. So like, yeah. And then she did the interview, the education event. And she's like, oh yeah, we went to Chicago. The kids played baseball in the backyard of in-laws. It was so sweet. You know? So-
Yeah, sure. They watch and they make notes. I'm like, okay, Erica, you have to go respond to this. You have to address this. This is what people are saying. 1000% they're watching.
Look, the point, okay, so today what I said to my husband as well, I'm like, two things could be true at the same time, all right? We could dislike Erica. She could be shady. There could be things in her life and in her professional life now that she could be doing wrong, nefarious things, whatever. But still, she didn't necessarily do anything to her husband, right? Like,
For sure.
maybe the stuff that we're discovering is just fraud or, and I'm not accusing, I'm just saying that maybe the things we're discovering about her is just we don't like her, or, she actually did something wrong, but it had nothing to do with Charlie. Maybe they did those things wrong together. Maybe they, like it could be a million things not related to 10th of September. However, some things seem to be connecting. So that's why we're here.
Allegedly.
Seem.
I always tell people all the time, I mean, as Green Berets, we're like very deep into psychological operations and different stuff like that. I tell people all the time, if you're looking at an event like this, false flags, all this stuff, watch people's behavior after the event. And that can typically tell you a lot. And when you see right after this event, the mainstream media, TPUSA, Erica Kirk, everybody involved, all the MAGA influencer talking heads all have the exact same script, right? And you have to do exactly this. After any big event like this, the White House Correspondents' Dinner, what happened? Like, that happens immediately. Like, I don't know, I showed it on my stream the next day. Like 50 MAGA influencers had the exact same Twitter post about, we have to build the ballroom. We have to build the ballroom. And it's like, that's a false flag. And here's why. Because the script went out 8 minutes after the event and 50 different MAGA influencers all said the exact same thing. Like, watch people's behavior after. What I mean by that with Erica is like, that doesn't necessarily mean she's involved or she did this, but we've watched her behavior afterwards and it is not normal. And it's funny, women, you guys are so much faster to pick that up than I think we did. I told this before, the day it happened, or you may guys remember the first time Erica did her, thing on the Charlie Kirk show in the white.
And the white, all white.
Her very first one, because I was super shaken by the whole event, right? Like, unfortunately, it triggers a lot of PTSD and trauma for me, seeing people get shot in the face, given my background. But I was super upset by it. And I remember watching it and actually being very emotional watching it. And my wife was like, nah, something's wrong with her. That's fucking fake. And I was
Your
like,
wife's a smart woman.
yeah, but I was like, wait, what? And she was like, oh yeah, there's something fucking weird about her. And I was like, wow, you guys are looking back on it. That was before I was, on the train we're on now. But looking back on it, I'm like, wow, you guys picked that up way faster than some of us guys did.
I will continue to belabor the point. Who wears all white to memorialize anybody? That's disrespectful. That you never like that. As soon as I saw her wearing all white, I was like, oh, it's one of those things. Okay.
Wait, how's that?
Then she
I
did it
did.
again.
Somebody
Well,
just
her
said-
stylist.
Somebody just said Nate. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go.
I was gonna say
'Cause
somebody in
it
the chat just said, Nate actually defended Erica for a long time. I did for like 2 months, and then eventually, but like she wore me down, right? Where eventually I just threw up my hands and I'm like, no, this is fucking weird. You know what I mean? And I was a supporter at first, and she just grinded me down with the bizarreness and the fake tears and the fireworks, and it was just like, okay. After like a month, I was like, okay, I'm out. No, I'm out.
Nate, what did she do? What was the turning point?
I think so. The memorial was like the first one where I was like, whoa, like the walking out the fireworks and the theatrics, and I was like, and selling merch and having the tent set up to do the photo booths with people. That's when I was like, this step back. And then the next couple interviews, just the over dramatic, like Fox News interviews, and I think it was the one about Candace, the stop, no, don't, and like that's when I was fine, like with the staring and the crazy eyes, that's when I was like, nah, dude, I'm out. Like this is not a normal human being right here. But my point with that is like some of us weren't like I'm not an anti-TPUSA guy, you know. I wasn't like the second it happened, like, yeah, I'm glad, and like Erica's this, like I was like most people, like this is horrible. And it was TPUSA that ground me down into me realizing, oh, these people are fucking parasites and leeches. Like you showed me that, you know, like TPUSA, Erica Kirk, you showed me that. I didn't just like feel that way beforehand, you know.
And the thing is, the war against Candace now, they blame her for starting this movement against Erica, against TPUSA. She was actually the last one to catch on.
She was.
Onto that.
She didn't
was
say
literally
anything
last
about
one.
Erica for months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
someone just said in
one of the
chat-
first ones.
Someone just said in chat, Nate, they said they unsubscribed from you and me at first when we were defending Erica up front.
Again, I'm like, you know, for me also, here's another one. Like I have been to way more funerals than I'd like, and I have a lot of my close friends, their wives are widows right now. Some of my teammates, former teammates, their wives are widows right now. Gets me emotional just talking about it. So I'm very well aware of how widows act after traumatic events when their husbands are shot in the face. That was another one to where when I watched her behavior, I was like, no widow I've ever seen has acted that way in the same type of situation. It's like, so that was another big one for me where I was like, this is not normal behavior.
But you know what she said in her most recent podcast, right? Of Bible in 365. She said that she's aware that people don't understand how she grieves. And it is because they don't believe in God enough. Like she is so, you know, she believes in God.
Whoa.
She's so connected with her faith that it's okay. They don't understand it and they won't, because they would need to be on her level. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but this was essentially what she said. Yeah.
The audacity.
Erica,
yeah, it's obnoxious.
Like, I've read news stories where something tragic happened to someone and they died, and like I cried. Like someone, I didn't even know who they were 2 minutes before I read the article, and like I got an emotional reaction. This is the love of your life, the love of your, and you're like backstage, like a pig in mud, smiling with the president, that snuggling up to him on stage.
This hug.
The tent.
Oh my God, Nisi, the hug with Trump on the memorial is haunting me. You don't understand. When I remember how she like held on to him, he was like trying to leave. She still held on because she wanted that amazing picture. How she's hugging him. So she's like, wait, let them get the shot. Stay.
And then how she hugged Baby Vance, just caressing his hair.
Oh yeah.
Well,
it's.
Again, it could be that she's just inappropriate, you know, or she's like, she likes the spotlight. It could be it, but there is more. I don't know.
It looks like most of you don't think they have enough evidence for probable cause to go to official trial. So we'll see what happens on September 1st. Make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe to all the different channels. Obviously, we're going to be live for the trial and everything that comes up. I will be live September 1st. And depending on if people have availability, they may be able to join or not. That should be quick. Typically, it's like 20, 30 minutes, and he says, like, we're going or we're not going. And other than that, I guess we could start hitting supers.
Yeah.
All right.
So let me do that real quick. And I think...
Oh, quick PSA, guys, before we do this, before people take off. I will be... Let me shout out my own stuff. I'll be back live at 4 p.m. Pacific with the Necessary Conversation podcast. I don't know if you guys have seen their show. It's incredible. So make sure you guys come by and watch that. It'll be very, very good, right? So 4 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you come back.
Necessary Conversation.
Yeah, so the really cool show. What they have, I don't know, you may have seen it. They've got really big kind of viral clips, but it's a son and a daughter, and they're I would say they're probably liberal. And they're two hardcore MAGA parents, like hardcore MAGA parents, and they sit down and debate politics and stuff like that. So it's very, very spicy, right? So if you're the type of family like I have, where the kids are, I'm moderate independent, but the kids are not MAGA, and you have MAGA parents, yeah, they have a great show. A huge Instagram channel, but yeah, their mom is very, very interesting because she's kind of like floating in the middle now. She's like moving away from it as everything's getting crazier. As the dad, though, is like the red hat, the full bore. So anyway, we'll be live at 4 p.m. Pacific. Should be a really cool show, guys. Anyway, let's go. Oh, what's my channel? Valhalla space VFT. And feel free to shout your guys' stuff out too while we're doing it.
Okay, I'm gonna shout out me and Nisi because we're
There you
going
go.
live tomorrow on my channel.
There you go.
Is it? We said 1:30 Central Time, right? 1:30 p.m. Central Daytime.
Yeah, I'm in the Eastern, so yeah.
Oh, you're lucky.
So like 12 for me, I believe, or 2.
Yes. So we'll be discussing, of course, who Nisi is, but generally how we got into the case, what we think, our discoveries, our own investigation. So it should be fun. It was the most requested collab, by the way. Yes, but we need to use codes. We need to say Brigida.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that story.
Yes.
Also,
yes,
to
very
my
careful.
audience, guys, make sure you support the other guests, right? We still got 10,000 people in here on my end, so make sure you guys go subscribe to Cassia and Nisi and support them as well, because they're doing really good work too.
And also, I know we were kind of having this back and forth about who was the most attractive person on the panel, and some of you thought it was Baze, some thought it was me or Nate or whoever. I think that the girls just wiped us out. So
Yeah,
we
we're
can
not.
say
Yeah, we're
Cassie and Nisi
we're on
killed it.
Me and Matt are at the bottom of the barrel.
It's
of this
makeup and coffee, guys. It's makeup and coffee. That's all.
No amount
Recommended.
of makeup.
Don't
is
tell
gonna
your
change how I
secrets,
look.
Cassie. Never tell your secrets.
Yeah, we could do supers now. Thank you all so much for
pulled up.
sticking with us too.
All right, so we're going off the ones that are showing in StreamYard. And is everyone ready?
It's going to be hard for me to. Well, we'll do it here to keep up, because I've got all the ones you don't have.
Yeah.
Which timestamp are you starting from?
You might
Under
not have.
paper.
Well, you maybe you do. I don't know if it shows you
I
them.
can see the first one. I
I
see
see
was
all
from
of them.
10:35.
Look at that, there's 2 of them. Oh, that's a monster. Look at that thing. Holy crap, it's coming close. It's coming to us. We gotta go. We gotta get the fuck out of here.
Oh my goodness, this is horrible. This storm is just full of debris right now. That is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. This is the worst case scenario.
It's April 23rd, 2026, and my chase partner Chris and I are chasing a volatile atmosphere across the state of Oklahoma. For the past year, we've chased hundreds of storms across the plains with the goal of putting Chris's 8K 360 camera probe inside the eye of a tornado. Positioned just north of Oklahoma City, Chris and I monitor 2 potential target areas east of a sharp dry line draped across central Oklahoma. Hedging both targets for as long as possible, we begin to notice a cluster of storms exploding to our north, moving into an increasingly potent environment. Impossible to ignore, Chris and I make the last-second decision to drive north towards the rapidly intensifying storm, getting closer and closer to the small town of Brahman, Oklahoma.
All right, this is our one, man. We're gonna intercept this. This is our guy. We're gonna get the probe in this. Yep. Could not ask for a better scenario. I wanted to fully plant before I probe it. Yeah. That's crazy. Oh my god.
so fucking heavy.
Still recharging.
That's pretty wild. Oh, that's so classic. That is so freaking classic.
Punching through the rain and hail, Chris and I arrive just in time as the storm evolves into a powerful rotating thunderstorm called a supercell, quickly developing multiple areas of intense low-level rotation on the southwest flank of the storm. Needing to get into position to deploy the probe, we drive directly into the storm's path as it begins to reach for the Earth.
Right. Oh, it's a tornado. I just saw dust up the ground. Tell me if this is too dangerous. Oh, wow. Look at that little funnel over there on the right. It's another one. There's two. Holy there it is. It's on the ground right there. There's two tornadoes on the ground at the same time. Oh, look at that. There's two on the ground. The other one's definitely going to pass to our north, Chris. This one that's closer to us. All right. I'm going to just get to this intersection. It's just coming on the forward flank and it's going to. It's merging with it. It's close. It's right in the field, Chris. It is right there. I'm going to go east so we can get a little bit of time. Dude, it's going to be out your window. Get inside, doggy.
Positioned in the supercell's path, we watch as numerous weak tornadoes orbit around the storm's powerful, rotating updraft in a process called vorticity aggregation. However, despite being in a volatile environment, an imbalance of conditions seems to be preventing the storm from concentrating all this rotation to one spot and forming a more significant tornado. Unsure of what to do, Chris and I reposition towards the east to give the storm more time to mature. We have no idea. One of the most dangerous tornadoes of the year is just moments away. Before we continue with the rest of the chase, I'd like to take a quick moment to thank the sponsor of this video, ZocDoc. As a full-time storm chaser, my schedule becomes extremely chaotic in the spring. I have no idea where I'll end up in tomorrow, let alone months from now, which makes trying to schedule a doctor's appointment a complete nightmare. Thankfully, that's where this video's sponsor ZocDoc comes in. ZocDoc is a completely free website that helps you find and book high-quality, in-network doctors across all 50 US states and in over 200 specialities, so you can find the right doctor that works best for you. No matter what doctor specialty you are looking for, ZocDoc has you covered for building the right care team for your specific needs with thousands of verified reviews to make sure you're getting the best doctors possible. For me, the best part about ZocDoc is that it shows you each doctor's availability, allowing you to quickly book an appointment online as soon as 24 hours in advance or even same day without having to talk to a single person. If you want to take care of your health on your schedule, go to ZocDoc.com/Kelton in the video description or scan the QR code on screen now and book your appointment today. Continuing to follow the supercell to the east, Chris and I watch as additional storms begin to fire to our southwest, dropping rain-cooled air towards the storm we are chasing. Striking a delicate balance between the supercell's inflow and outflow winds, the conditions are now in place for a violent tornado to develop, and Chris and I are sitting right in its path.
Oh yeah, it's in there. See it? Oh yeah, there it is. There's a cone. It's coming. Holy crap, it is. is right there. I know, I'm gonna start bombing. You gotta watch it. I'm watching it.
What can I do for you? See you later.
Light be with you.
How are you? Safe travel. Have a good one. It's too far.
Big hail. Oh. It's about to come down again. Am I far enough to turn around, or should I keep going? I think so. It's coming down. It's coming all the way down. All right. I'm gonna turn. Oh, look at that. There's two. Oh, there's two of them. Wow, look at that. Two tornadoes, twins. I'm getting the thing set up. Give me a second. You recording? Yeah. Wow. Look at that. There's two of them. Do it quick, man. I'm recording. It's close. Real close. We gotta move. We gotta move. We gotta go. They're both going. Oh, it's a satellite. Yeah. That's a big boy. Oh, that's a monster. Look at that thing. It's moving north. Record it. I am. Can I probe this? No, it's moving to the right a little bit. Can we hold it here for a second? It stopped moving. Holy crap. It's coming close. It's coming to us. We gotta go. We gotta get the f out of here. It's too close. That's too close. Let me, that's real close, dude. Ah, shit.
At 7:04 p.m., a powerful twister develops in the rain directly behind us, rapidly growing in both size and intensity as it absorbs an extremely rare satellite tornado and loops over the spot we were just parked at moments earlier. Realizing we are far too close to the strengthening tornado to safely deploy the probe, Chris and I race east to get into position as the tornado chases us down the road.
Holy crap, wow. It's coming right down the road, Chris. Let me deploy. You got it? Yeah. There's Reed. Oh my God, this is sick. All right, we're going. We're going. All right, let's leave it here. You don't want to wait? No, it's coming right here, dude. It's coming right here. We got time, but I don't want to cut it any closer. It should come directly down the road. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it. Okay. I'm looking. I don't see any satellites. That's the guy we gotta worry about. That's a monster. Holy cow. We gotta be ready to move, dude. Wow. Woo! We gotta go! Come on! Let's go, dude! Let's move! Wow, I see it. It kind of looks like Spirit Wood. It does. It's strong. It's a monster. All right, I'm gonna turn around on this hill. We'll have a good view. Okay. I don't see it. I don't see it, dude. This is dangerous. It's in there. It just got wrapped in rain, I think. I don't see it. I think we should get the hell out of here. I agree. Let's go. I'm bombing.
Watching the tornado move directly down the road towards our location, Chris and I deploy the probe in its path and make our escape to the east. However, more and more rain begins to wrap around the tornado, cutting off our view and making an already dangerous situation much worse. With the tornado approaching from the west and our escape routes to the east and north blocked by both Interstate 35 and the Chicaskia River, we nervously wait at the intersection of Earth Road and North 60th Street, ready to blast south as the tornado approaches our location.
I'm looking for it, Chris. I don't see it. It's north of the road on radar. That's the way it looked like when I saw it for a second. We should be able to go get it. We should be able to go get the probe. It's north of the road. I might be able to see it again. There's like a shadow over there that's like north of the road. Let's go back for it. Oh yeah, there it is. There it is.
For a few tense minutes, we hold our ground as the rain begins to gradually clear out, revealing that while extremely close to our location, the tornado's path has shifted slightly to the northeast. Wanting to go back for the probe and get into position for another attempt at an intercept, Chris and I decide to make a risky dash to the west, watching as the tornado passes just to our north.
Oh my God. There it is. Get ready to whip it around if it turns at us. I think we're good. Holy. That's monster. That's a monster. Welcome back, Spirit Wood. Holy crap, dude. Do we maybe want to go north on a road towards it? Or just kind of stay on this road? I think we can stay on this one. Unless you just want to sit and watch it for a second and then grab the probe. Yeah, we can do that. Oh, shoot. What? The wrapping rain bands are pretty close. Oh, that's real close. That is real close. Just stop. Holy shit. Stop, it's clearing out. We can get an insane view of this thing for a couple minutes. Yeah. I can bomb west if I have to. Wow. Strong RFD. So wrapped in rain. I just don't think it's gonna go south towards us. All right, I'm almost thinking we go get the probe. Yeah. That probably got some really close footage.
And we were right. Looking back at the footage reveals that the tornado changed directions at the last possible second, missing the probe just to its north. At its closest approach, the tornado's wind field was only 50 yards away. Disappearing once again behind the curtains of rain, the tornado continues moving towards the northeast, producing yet another satellite tornado as it closes in on the small town of Brahman. Thankfully, at the last possible second, the tornado makes a hard right turn, narrowly missing town by just a quarter of a mile before dissipating in a field, sparing the lives of dozens of people. The residents of Enid, Oklahoma, however, would not be so fortunate. 50 miles to the southwest, a long-lived, violent, and extremely photogenic tornado would tear through the southern outskirts of the city of Enid, Oklahoma, destroying dozens of homes and businesses, with some being completely swept away. Tracking for over 10 miles, the tornado was on the ground for over 30 minutes and received a high-end EF4 rating, but by some miracle, caused no fatalities or serious injuries.
Ryan Chandler and his friend Nate decide to ignore the warnings.
Was watching James Spann on the news talking about the storms that were coming through. That's actually when I sent out a tweet to see if anybody wanted to chase a storm. And my friend Nate actually replied and said he was game. And we took off down 15th Street. There it is. All of a sudden it was right on top of us.
This is a large, violent tornado coming up on downtown Tuscaloosa. We're in the same place right now.
It was just this wall of churning clouds. I can't do that. Bigger than anything that you can really imagine. The raw power behind it was incredible.
That thing is... Go, Chandler.
It was one of those things you were almost drawn to. I was transfixed on it.
Go back. I'm not kidding.
Oh my god. Nate definitely felt like we were too close, and that's when he became pretty emphatic that we needed to back up. We just put it in reverse and went in reverse down the wrong way on the interstate.
At 1.5 miles wide, the vast tornado rips through the city.
We're getting reports of major damage in Tuscaloosa. Look at the debris. Look at the debris. And all you can do is pray for those people.
I can't even recognize this place. That's power lines. Look at this.
I've never been to war, but it would be the closest thing I've seen to, or I would describe as a war zone. Houses look like they had just been exploded or imploded. Building materials were everywhere.
As they drive through the devastation, suddenly they spot a sign of life.
Come on. Get in. Come on. Oh my God, my dog. You okay? Hey, are people okay? I don't know.
All of a sudden, everything went from fun and games and chasing a storm to a reality that there were people that were trapped and people that were hurt and people that could be dead.
I can't call nobody. Oh my God, y'all.
A deadly multiple vortex tornado has just hit a densely populated area of Tuscaloosa. Local student Victoria Sheehan films the aftermath with no idea if her home is still standing.
There's just people walking down the main roads in Tuscaloosa. Oh, this used to be the church. We actually came over a slight hill. And you could look out and you saw University Boulevard. And it was just... It looked like a war zone. I remember there were helicopters flying over above. They were still doing search and rescue. I remember the first time realizing, like, this is my community, this is where I live. We walked and we turned, and there was so much debris. I've never seen anything like that. But we looked out. For a second, it looked like my apartment. Oh my god. We were all so excited. Oh my god. No, there's someone in it. Half of it. There's someone in there. It's bad. No, that's the bottom. Wow. In an instant, it comes into focus that actually I don't see anything of my apartment left.
Ah.
There were kids right down the street that died, and they didn't have a chance.
I'm about to go to court, and I don't even know what I did wrong. Yeah, Bricks and Minifigs is making up tons of lies about me to the police to try to get me thrown in jail so I can't release my documentary about them. But the crazy part is I'm not even allowed to know what they're saying I did. Legally, I'm not allowed to film inside court, so I formally requested the audio, but since there was no visual, I hired an animator to animate over it.
Right now, I kind of don't even know what I'm being charged for because all of the body cam footage has been redacted, and they say it's to protect the victims. However, I think there are some redactions that maybe don't make sense and that weren't to protect the victims, and there's some things being said about me that are redacted I don't know about.
I do have some concern in this case with the defendant representing himself. The allegations here relate to the fact that the defendant, he's a person he's a YouTuber, creates videos, publishes them online, and has been, if this defendant were to represent himself and we were to provide body cams and discovery, we would be now providing additional information and fodder for this defendant to create videos from which he could profit by placing them on YouTube at the expense of our victim. I have serious
But they haven't even proven
concerns
that
for
there's
that.
damages or anything. What the fuck?
The state of Utah is claiming that if they tell me what I'm being accused of, then I'll use it for content on my YouTube channel. And they can't have that.
We can't tell you what you did wrong.
Arguing to the judge that
Oh
the
my
best thing
God.
to do is to not let me know what's being said about me, which is very strange, but that's their argument.
Yeah.
And just in case you haven't been following along with this whole Lego story, this is all happening because I stepped in to help a family who got their Lego collection stolen from a company called Bricks and Minifigs. And for the last couple months, this company's been doing whatever they can to get me arrested so they can keep all the Legos for themselves.
Naturally.
And this isn't even just me speculating. One of their own employees literally told us what their plan was.
I got a call from my boss, and it was like, how do we get them arrested?
How do we get them arrested?
But
That's
eventually, Bricks and
crazy.
Minifigs found out that I'm not just some random kid. I'm actually a YouTuber making a documentary on the entire scandal. Yeah, this is when things really started getting crazy. Bricks and Minifigs went into
I don't wanna
ultimate
be on
defense
YouTube.
mode and was going to do whatever it takes to prevent this documentary from coming out. First, the police got a call saying I had heroin on me.
This was so stupid. Oh
And
my
obviously,
god.
they found nothing. But then they got a call saying that I was the one that stole the Legos. And I got swatted by the entire police department.
Included in the warrant are Legos.
We all got arrested. But right when I got out of jail, I got a warrant for my arrest for some mystery crime that I committed.
A warrant for what?
Live in LA, or his last known address is in LA.
Yeah. The police showed up to my house all the way in Los Angeles to arrest
This is all for Legos.
me without bail.
He was like, just tell him he has a warrant for his arrest.
but the police couldn't arrest me.
Any idea where he actually is?
No idea.
They don't even know?
I was somewhere very far away. But anyways, back to court. The judge is looking at signing a protective order to protect Josh and all of his statements about me. If this protective order gets signed, then I'll never be able to find out what he's claiming I did.
I got bad news. I don't think we have any more budget for animation, dude.
Oh shoot. So how do we animate this next court scene? I guess if we have to not pay the lawyers, then I guess the animation's more important, right?
Yeah, we decided maybe the lawyers are actually more important. So, yeah, we ran out of animation budget. Sorry, guys.
The court seemed fine to sign this pretrial protective order unless you have an objection to it, Mr. Schneider, and the objection to such an order.
Yes, I think there's a bunch of misunderstandings in this case, and so this person doesn't want to get exposed. He's making up a lot of lies about me to order to get me arrested before he gets exposed. So that's what this whole thing's about.
However, before I was allowed to show any of the overwhelming evidence I have to support my claims, the judge didn't care about the evidence and signed the protective order anyways.
Mr. Schneider, the court's going to sign this order and serve it upon you.
So the court has made it clear they do not want to look at the evidence and they want to protect Josh and Brandon for some reason.
What the fuck?
And now I have to somehow fight a court case against all of these mystery crimes against me that I have no clue what they're even saying.
How is that even legal? That you can make a guy go to court for a crime that he doesn't even know that.
So this whole mess is happening in American Fork, Utah. But I'm also being charged with another case in Provo, Utah.
Oh my
This is where
God.
corporate bricks and minifigs is, which is why I'm also being charged here. And this police department has surprisingly actually followed the law when it comes to discovery.
Oh, no.
And they sent me all the raw body cam footage of what I'm being charged for.
Oh,
Let's
wow.
start at the beginning. The moment I first met the CEO. The reason I'm talking to him right now is because before exposing this company for the grand theft they committed, I thought it was in good faith to give them an opportunity to do the right thing first before I make a documentary about this.
Smart, yeah. $200,000 worth of Legos in your store?
Never happened.
But the CEO did not want to take the opportunity to do the right thing and instead instantly called the cops on us.
Hi there, I'm calling to report a crime.
They themselves say, hey, you guys stole this product from this person. If you don't give it back, I'm going to burn the place down. Or we're going to burn the place down. Or I'll kill you. It's Ben Snyder who's been the...
So Reckless Ben came to Bricks and Minifigs headquarters and said, if you don't give these Legos back, I'm going to kill you. Oh, right. Okay. Sure. No, this makes perfect sense.
That the crime he wanted to get us charged for is called extortion, which basically means we're threatening him into paying us, which is very illegal. However, obviously he's just making all of this up. The reality is, I just thought it was a nice gesture to give him the opportunity to do the right thing first.
If you guys do have our Legos, we just kind of want them back, you know?
But if there's one thing I've learned from this entire experience, it's that whoever ends up doing the morally right thing just ends up getting screwed over.
That's right.
So now it's time to play the way Bricks and Minifigs is playing and use their
400 years before Jesus was born, Plato said that if a perfectly moral man ever came into this world, he would be humiliated and killed. This is literally from BC. It's been going on for a long time.
own strategy against them.
Prophetic, yeah.
Right now,
It's the same
their
thing
strategy is to
over
get
and
me arrested
over and
before I get
over.
them arrested. So now, I'm gonna Uno reverse this and get Eamon, the CEO, arrested before he gets me arrested. But if I'm gonna be the reason that someone's going to jail, I should probably make sure that they definitely deserve this. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna give them one more chance to try to do the right thing first. But instead of doing the right thing and attempting to work this out, Eamon just hid in his little office.
Oh no! Oh no!
And he called the police on me.
I can't tell you right now, no one's coming out to talk to you guys. Really? But they told us that they were.
Normally I wouldn't want to get someone arrested, but we gave him every opportunity to talk to us, so at this point he's just arresting himself. However, the only difference between my strategy and Bricks and Minifigs' strategy is I don't have to lie to the police. Eamon McNeff actually committed a crime. I have tons of crimes on camera that Eamon McNeff has committed. Let's start at the beginning. with crime number 1.
So what's going on?
So you guys are holding some of our Legos?
No, we're not.
You're not?
No. So who's
Brian Mansell.
Okay, and who is that?
He's a guy who had he has like $200,000 worth of Legos in your guys' store.
Never happened.
Eamon was first trying to claim that he's never even heard of Brian Mansell, and this guy definitely never had any Legos in a Bricks and Minifigs store. But once we showed him all of the social media posts his own company made, it was very obvious that we just caught him in a lie. So the CEO decided to change his story, and now the story is the Legos used to be in the store, but the previous owner, Crystal, she stole the Legos right before they took over the store.
We don't have the Lego. Crystal sold the Lego.
The only problem is the security camera footage of the previous owner getting kicked out.
These are ones that he has not been paid his percentage yet. And if I don't have the tickets, I won't know how much I need to pay.
Yeah, duh.
That's a business thing and not necessarily yours.
It's consignment.
Taking on the business, he takes on all that consignment.
Corporate just said that they're going to be the ones to take over the consignment deal with all the Legos that are still in the store. And
Right
there's extra
there,
proof that these
plain
Lego sets were
English.
still in the store. The owner went into the back and started taking pictures of everything that you can verify in the metadata with the timestamps that match the exact moment she's getting kicked out. And then you can see her leave the store with nothing in her hands, proving that the sets were still in the store and the CEO is lying to us right now.
There it is.
That's only one side of the story. I also thought it was fair to hear his side.
You sent a bunch of pictures of the Legos still in the back. You can see in the security camera footage, corporate comes and throws her out.
Great. I understand what you're talking about, but you have a misunderstanding of what has occurred, and you're taking one person's word over another person's word to go after the party that's responsible, and you don't want to because that's not easy. You have accepted a narrative that is not real, and you are continuing to pursue that narrative because it's easy and it gives you views and it gives you all sorts of clout and does all sorts of things that way.
Right.
So basically what the CEO's trying to explain to me is...
Look at the little twirly mustache, bro. Like oh my god. Oh, jeez. How untrustworthy. A mustache like that? Are you kidding me?
We shouldn't be looking
What
at
are
the
we
evidence.
doing?
Instead, I should just be taking his word for it because he said so.
Crystal Law was a former franchisee of Bricks and Minifigs.
Yeah.
She took Mr. Mansell's Lego, sold it, didn't pay him, she has his money.
But
she sold his Lego, she has his
money.
To make it easier for you guys to understand the CEO's argument, we're going to demonstrate his argument with a little skit. Oh, that wasn't a backflip, no. Sure? You have a misunderstanding of what happened. Yes, this is the exact argument the CEO is trying to make. Something we just saw in video, the CEO is saying...
That wasn't a backflip.
Never
so
happened.
Stupid.
Which would mean the
I
CEO's
love
lying. And most people would
Yeah,
agree
obviously
that
he's
lying
lying.
is morally wrong.
Yeah.
However,
clearly.
if you lie about a crime, the way Eamon's lying to me right now, then that's not just
Right.
morally wrong anymore. That crosses into new territory called illegal. The specific crime is called obstruction. If someone commits this crime, they can get arrested.
I don't think that's a crime if you lie to another private citizen, no. I think it's only obstruction if you lie to a police officer. I don't know.
We're
I
at
don't
the
know
police
that,
station, and we're going to charge him with a criminal crime, obstructing of evidence,
Or an
a
agent of the
$200,000
court, yeah.
theft. And good news for us, we found out last week that all of the police in Utah take obstruction very seriously here.
Well,
the
not
police
really,
arrested
though,
my
right?
friend Sheldon for obstruction just for locking his phone.
Yeah, big reveal. Yeah, bro, imagine the final reveal, part 6, is that Ben was actually a federal officer all along. And he was doing this to test them. And he had completed his federal officer training program in 2023, preparing for this moment because he knew it was going to happen. Dude, can you imagine that?
Evidence. Okay, put your hands behind your back.
Oh my
I was
God.
just locking my phone.
You're under arrest for obstruction of evidence right now.
The crazy part is,
Obstruction
the
of
police didn't even have a warrant, so Sheldon locking his phone was 100% legal.
Yeah.
But the police arrested him anyways because that's literally how serious the police take obstruction crimes here. They do not mess around when it comes to obstruction. So now, just imagine how angry the police are gonna be when I go into the police station and tell them that someone is actually, for real this time, committing an obstruction crime. And this obstruction crime is on a much bigger scale.
Yeah.
Later, the police called me saying that they were gonna do a police investigation on this.
Hey, Benjamin, Officer Halpern from Provo Police.
I told the detective the entire situation.
He was saying that this family's Lego sets were never even in the store, like all of this stuff, and it's all documented. I have video of all of him saying this. I think he's like falsifying evidence, and I think that's obstruction.
And now that we stole Bricks and Minifigs' strategy, I think the plan is finally gonna work.
Looks like the CEO is going down.
I mean, I submitted the videos of Eamon saying we're gonna burn down the building and shoot him.
They themselves say, hey, you guys stole this product from this person. If you don't give it back, I'm gonna burn the place down.
I feel like that's the crime, is like literally calling the police and then telling, like, I mean.
I know you're not a pleasure call guy, but you. I'll go.
No.
Just passed away.
Okay. Really? That's cool.
I didn't. I called Russ afterwards. I said, oh yeah, he was like their coach for like 20 years. And then he was trying to get over and create a fair to some local news thing and with football commentary.
Well, Notre Dame's up in Indiana, so what brought him down to Florida?
A lot of people.
Yeah.
But it's the family that owned the house. Yeah. Beautiful home. Gorgeous.
I'm sure he had money.
Oh yeah. He had a whole room like this.
How big was it?
The house?
Yeah.
Almost 5,000.
Big house.
Over in Lake Nona.
Big as the big house we lived at?
Same size, just design different. This was the one story.
A big one story. Holy.
Gorgeous.
That's what you like.
3-car garage, lake front, in-ground pool.
What's your dream home? Is having a giant one story. Would you?
I ain't got 3 million.
Time is money, friend.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
This is like this is on the same spectrum of like swatting, right? It's like you're telling the police this is a potentially violent, dangerous person and you need to come and get them right now. Yeah, that's nuts, man. It's a false report. That's the bad one. Like him lying, it's like I don't think you can get him under obstruction, but this is nuts.
We're gonna burn the place down, or I'll kill you.
And then I submitted all the raw footage of the entire conversation I had with him, proving to the police that we never even said anything close to this. This raw footage verifies that everything I told the police is true, and everything Eamon told the police is a lie. On top of that, I even got access to the complete case Eamon made against me, and he doesn't have a single piece of evidence to support any of his claims. Which I guess makes sense. Like, how can you support evidence if you're just making everything up? Like, of course you can't submit anything.
So if the police have to decide what case to pursue, they're obviously going to pursue this case because it has like
Ben's evidence, all the raw footage of our interaction, Amon's evidence, 2 witness testimonies. Aha, right.
a ton of evidence. And then they're going to throw out Eamon's case that has no evidence at all.
Yeah, no way, right? 3 months. Oh my
The person
god.
you're trying to reach is not available.
Hello, my name is Ben Schneider. A couple months ago, I made a case, and you were the officer that was helping me create it. I submitted a bunch of evidence through a link you sent me, and this was a couple months ago, and I haven't heard anything back. And so I'm just calling to see if I can get some type of update on how the case is going. It's about the CEO, Eamon McNeff of Bricks and Minifigs, in an obstruction case. And so if you could give me a call back at your earliest convenience, that'd be awesome.
I'm sorry, your call cannot be completed.
Yeah, literally no matter what I tried, I could not get a hold of
You punch in the face?
This police officer. So I'm traveling all the way back to Utah to go back to the Provo police station in person to see how the police investigation against Ammon is going. And I just so happened to get a hold of the police schedule and arrived at the exact time this officer was supposed to arrive. But before I could speak to this officer, one of the other police officers called into the front desk and asked to talk to me.
I'm not seeing him on duty right now.
Really? They said he was going to be here today at 3 o'clock.
There's always the chance that they might have called out sick or something.
Oh.
Is there any way that you can like check if he's here or?
He's definitely scheduled to be here. Like I said, they might have called out sick or something.
Maybe he's late.
Are you able to look and see how the case is going? All I really want is kind of just an update on the case.
That's not something that I can tell you over the phone.
Okay, you can't even just tell me like how it's going.
Isn't it crazy how many layers of bureaucracy that exist just to like, I mean, can you imagine like an average person trying to like unravel this? Like, you're just so totally fucked. Like, it's insane.
Like if he's still looking into it or?
Oh my God.
That's not something I can do.
Okay, well, thank you.
So basically, I came all the way out here to find 0 answers.
I say 2023.
But
I have no
eventually, I did find an answer. They sent it to me in the mail, and looks like I was right. The police only had time to take on one of our cases, and it was Ammon's, not mine.
Oh, wow.
Yes, the case that had an overwhelming amount of evidence. They thought that case was garbage.
Of course.
And they took on the case that has 0 evidence at all. In the police body cam footage, after the police watched my full conversation, proving that I didn't threaten to burn the place down or literally anything, they even admitted to Ammon that there was no credibility with his entire case against me.
We agreed that there really was no extortion code that would fit your situation.
Duh.
However,
you
know, at the end of the day, we do want to help you guys, you know, having to deal with this fool and all of these issues. We did find that there was another code that fit, and it's called aggravated commercial obstruction.
The police just told Ammon that even though there's absolutely nothing to his claim against me, if they work together, maybe they can fabricate some type of charge against me.
However, the tricky thing is that we have to prove that this individual either entered or remains unlawfully on the premises. When he came to the property, did you have to ask him more than once to leave?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, we're not leaving until we get it. And it's like, no. Like,
So Ammon's telling the police that even though they continuously told us to leave, we didn't leave. But if we go back and look at the footage of what happened, this is the reality.
When they say they're appropriate, how do we respond next time? I have no idea. You have to take it up with them. It's your thing with them. That doesn't involve us. Okay. As a separate business entity, you got to take it up with them. You got to resolve it with them. Okay. Well, thanks so much, guys. Yeah. Okay, guys. Good luck. Great. Thank you. Hey, do you want to talk? They're on their way out. If you want me to grab them or not?
I don't know. It kind of looks...
They're just lying. They're just making shit. Dude, this is insane. Oh my God.
It's like the reality of what happened is we left too early for
Holy
them.
shit.
They wanted to pull us back in to keep talking to us.
Right, of course.
But we did show back up a second time. And to Ammon's credit, about halfway through the conversation, he did say that if we don't leave, he's going to call the cops on us.
If you leave, if you come back here, we will call the cops. If you don't leave right now, I will call the cops.
So you don't want to do the easy way?
And this is right after I told him you could do it either the easy way and just give us the Legos back, or we can do it the hard way, implying that we would take him to court.
Yeah.
So you're threatening me.
I'm not threatening. We're right. Like, we have a right to the Legos, so we're gonna get them the easy way or the hard way.
What proof of ownership have you provided?
The contract, bro. Like, what do you mean?
I can give you proof if you want.
Right. Provide proof.
But right after he says this, he's now asking us to provide him proof that we actually are entitled to these Legos.
Yeah.
So we can't leave now because he just told us to stay and provide proof. And then at the very end of the conversation, he says this one more time.
Time is money, friend. You've been asked to leave. Please leave.
We have to leave? Okay. Well, thank you for working with us, and so see you later.
Damn,
well, we have
bro.
now all just seen the video footage.
Damn, commercial obstruction right there. Wow. It's so over for Ben. I can't believe he did that.
What actually happened.
That's crazy.
But now let's hear how Ammon describes it to the police.
Guys, at this point, I've asked you to leave. Please leave. Well, you have to listen to us. You have to pay us this money. No, guys, you need to leave, and you're not leaving. But I asked multiple times, they did not leave.
Looks like that might be a second-degree felony. He's facing felony charges. It is a felony?
Yes, because I went to the corporate headquarters and tried to give Ammon the easy way out of all of this. They're now trying to get me on a second-degree felony.
Yep.
I don't really know how any of this would make me get a second-degree felony. Like, what the heck, police officers? But they're doing it, and the punishment for this crime is 15 years in jail.
See, this is the reason why you can't forgive these people. It's because they're literally doing things they are engaging in and doing things in a way that will ruin and destroy a person's life. Like, it's not like they're just not giving the Legos or it's something else. Like, they're going on offense in a way that is life-altering offense. This is crazy.
I don't know, like however else, like some of that stuff comes through, but like the reality is like we've tried to talk with him and said we're willing to work with you.
Yeah, I think one of the main reasons the police keep taking Ammon's side instead of ours, besides the whole Mormon thing, is that Ammon keeps framing the situation as he's just the helpful CEO who's trying to do the right thing and return Brian's property. And we're the ones that are preventing him from giving it back to Brian.
Of course.
So, I say we rewatch the footage and see what actually happened.
Right.
We said we would be more than happy to help Mr. Mansell.
Yeah, because Brian said
he was unwilling to work with us.
Well, Brian said he asked for the store inventory, and that because he said like he wanted to work with you, and then you guys didn't provide the store inventory.
We asked him to provide us with any documentation.
This is 100% the government doing it to Ben. Well, they're working together. You have to keep in mind that, like, some of these police officers they don't understand everything that happened. They're just getting a call from this guy that's getting harassed by a YouTuber. And let's be honest, YouTubers trying to deal with businesses have a really bad track record. So I think that there are some instances where, like, yeah, the Utah Police Department in that area, there's probably a lot of ideological capture going on. Like, yeah, I think so. But, like, I think that whenever you're talking about, like, the LA Police Department or, these other police departments that are involved, the probability is that they're just hearing this from his side and they don't understand what's going on. The woman in the clip needs to be fired and investigated? Yeah, I mean, obviously, but like that's all I'm saying. It's corruption charges. There's no excuses here. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be corruption charges. The only thing I'm saying is that every single police officer involved in this, some of them might just be distrustful because they don't know what's going on, and there are other, like, I'm not saying none of them, but I'm also not saying all of them. That's all I'm trying to get at, okay?
The spreadsheet is
You're making excuses for him?
Yeah,
I'm just trying to be reasonable. I'm a reasonable guy.
All your ice cream machines belong
I'm a very reasonable guy.
Because so-and-so said so.
Nobody's more reasonable than me.
That's not proof of ownership. That's not proof of
Yeah. So first off, this spreadsheet Ammon's referring to wasn't just some mystery spreadsheet. It was the actual inventory the store made. But I guess Ammon's trying to claim that the previous owner stole the Legos and then lied on the inventory, and so now it basically makes this inventory invalid.
Yeah.
He said that when corporate was taking over the store, that they actually did their own inventory, and this is the correct inventory.
Oh, right.
We did an inventory.
And good news for me, he's willing to give me this inventory. He's actually always been willing to give it to me or Brian. All we've ever had to do was ask.
We will work with you to obtain any Lego that does exist.
Well, we did that, and you guys.
When?
I think like 5 or 6 times, and we've gotten 0 response to that.
Yeah, literally the first thing I did right when I heard about this entire situation was I googled Bricks and Minifigs, clicked on their website, clicked contact us, and sent them a message.
Yeah.
I actually got a message back from corporate saying that they would love to help, but after a few months, I kept trying to reply to this message, and they just completely ghosted me.
Yeah, we're ready to help you. Bye. Oh my God.
We've done like 6 over the last like 4 or 5 months.
Pull it up. Find out. Tell me
Pull
when.
it up.
I said like, hey, I don't think this ever got resolved. I'm just reaching back out right now, and then never.
Hit forward right now. Resend it.
What's the email?
That is I don't know what email address that is.
This was on your guys' website.
That says fbc.team. I said franchise at bricksandminifigs.com.
Well, this is just on the website, so.
Did I look up something on the website and send it there?
Well, you would assume. I mean, like, I think that what is this? This is what somebody with that kind of a mustache would do. This is exactly what they would do.
Did I say that just barely?
Well, that's what.
Yes or no?
It's crazy.
Did I say that?
No.
I just said send me an email to franchise@bricksandminifigs.com and we will work with that.
But you're getting mad at me because I emailed the email on the website?
You keep saying that you, like, so that, I understand that, but I'm telling you right now, and you're trying to argue on something that I didn't give you any information about. I'm telling you, send it to that one.
Yeah, you're like getting upset at us that we emailed the email that was on your website.
He is getting upset.
I'm telling you,
obviously getting upset.
The way to do this, and you've been probably trying to communicate with a ghost.
Well, that's your guys' fault for putting that email on the website.
Sure. Okay.
And so why are you getting mad at us because we emailed the website for your instructions?
You harass us.
Oh, now harass. Oh, now you're harassing.
We're not harassing. We're just asking for our legacy.
How do you get Normies to see this?
If someone stole money from you and you went and politely asked for the money back, is that you harassing them?
It seems like Ammon kept either trying to stall or switch the subject. It almost seems like he doesn't want to actually give us this inventory.
Yeah.
But he keeps saying he's willing to give it to us.
You guys can send that inventory list to us?
What if, I do believe so, yes. I think we have sent that to Brian.
He says he said that's all he wants is the inventory list, and he'll stop like bugging you guys.
Well, then, Mr. Mansell and you, and if you want to be included on the emails with Mr. Mansell, that's totally fine. You guys can email us, and we can go.
But you guys will give him the inventory list because he said he's been asking for it for over a year
reasonable.
now.
Amazing. Great.
That was obtained when the
awesome.
Taken over.
Had no idea.
And we can work through that process and try and identify what was or wasn't there, and also try and identify how to proceed from there.
Yeah, I think Brian gets upset because he says they always say that they'll send me the list, kind of like how you're saying, oh, we can send it easily. But then when it comes down to it, you'll never actually send it. So maybe if you actually go ahead and send it, it would make him feel better.
Well,
it would be nice.
I understand what you're trying to get at. We're more than willing to work with you and help you. That's why I'm saying send an email to that email address that I just gave to you, and that will produce results.
Anyways, I sent an email to the email he told me about, not the one on the website.
Right,
that's a bad email. Don't ever email that one or the CEO is going to be pissed. But according to Ammon, now that I've sent this email, I should be receiving the inventory list very soon.
What the fuck?
So I waited all
brick
day.
by brick.
And I got no answer. So the next day, I sent them another email. I patiently waited again for about a week. And finally...
This is the response.
What is it?
Mr. Schneider, BAM Franchising Incorporation will not participate in any form of communication that appears designed for public provocation, harassment, or manipulation of facts for the purpose of media content. Attempts to obtain privileged or confidential information through misrepresentation or the creation of fraudulent documents.
Just for me asking for this inventory list to prove their innocence, because I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. I want to be like, hey, if you're innocent, I want to prove that you're innocent with this inventory list. But now, by me trying to do that, that's criminal behavior on my part.
And considered harassment.
Of course.
We reserve all rights to refer such behavior to appropriate legal authorities.
It's
oh my God.
The cops.
So don't ask for our inventory list or else we're going to call the cops.
Yes. Bricks and Minifigs has officially banned me from ever asking for this inventory list again.
Wow,
and I'm not the only one who's banned from asking for this list.
He promised us a full inventory right away. We've never received it.
Yeah, and every time it's been just absolutely nothing. So we've never gotten anything.
These are the previous owners.
Yeah, the previous owner who got her entire store stolen from her by corporate. I mean, she's legally required to get sent an inventory list, and even she, 2 years later, has not gotten it yet.
It would have resolved everything because they would have had to identify everything in the store, and it would have identified all of Brian's stuff, and they never provided it, so we couldn't then demand the third-party evaluation.
And it's now,
of course, how convenient.
What, a year and a half later?
You know, who knows what.
Still no inventory.
Dang.
So.
How interesting.
Would have solved a lot of problems a year and a half ago to go, here's the inventory.
And even Brian still hasn't received this inventory list yet.
I've never received an inventory list. I've never received a record of sales because they can't provide it. They opened the store up almost right away and started selling it.
And the worst part about all of this is it seems like the CEO is pretty much just trying to rub all of this in everyone's face. When I turned on the news, I saw this.
Oh, I remember that fucking interview, man. It's so annoying.
As far as offering Brian the inventory, have you gone through the store, figured out what
what's going on
part
with
of
this?
his collection, taken inventory and shown him that inventory to offer that?
No, Ben has good lawyers. This is fucked. It sure is.
That he can see, you know, like that we were not attempting in any way, shape, or form to withhold anything. Those then were offered to him, and the initial offer was rejected.
So now on public television, Ammon, the CEO, is telling the world that he tried to give us this inventory, but we're the ones that didn't want it.
We do want to help him recover as much of the collection. Our number one priority right now is to ensure that he gets made whole. We know that we have a responsibility to work with him to make sure he does get made whole.
So you've offered Brian the inventory of sets that was in the store?
Yeah, whatever was left over, we've offered that on multiple occasions. So we've tried to make multiple offers, and hopefully we'll be able to get them to the table so we can discuss it.
And this is pretty much Ammon's game plan now. Go on as many news stations as you can and lie.
The entire time we were saying, hey, we want to help.
This is what a lot of people don't understand, is that when you're dealing with people that are like this, they will literally just make shit up. They will say A when it's B. That's it. They'll just lie.
We want to help.
The main narrative now seems to be Bricks and Minifigs has always been trying to give Brian his Legos back, but Brian just never wanted them back.
Would you be willing to just take this? And the answer was no. It was attempted to be given to the family, and it was refused. They made the offer and said, hey, you can have all this, and that offer was not accepted at the time.
Well, that's Ammon's side of the story, but I say let's take a look at what actually happened.
Read from the bottom up. That is our correspondence with Bricks and Minifigs, trying to work with them in getting the sets back.
So right when this happened, Brian hired an attorney to reach out to Bricks and Minifigs. They sent an email saying, how should we proceed to retake the possession of the sets/minifigures? And they actually emailed back saying they were willing to help. And then after this, they just never respond. So Brian's attorney sent them another email, just following up on this, when can we pick up the sets? And they still didn't respond. So the attorneys emailed back saying, it's now been 16 days. How can we get these Legos back? And finally, they received a response. It says Brandon Best and Joshua Johnson have no legal obligation to return any of the Lego product that exists in their store to you. What? So yeah, basically they're saying that they're the ones that are not able to work with you, is what it seems like.
Oh my god,
They finished this email saying, we consider this matter closed and will not be returning any Lego products to you. So as you can see, that's the reality of what actually happened.
What is wrong with them?
But then Ammon goes on Fox News and says this.
So they actually did have an attorney send information to us.
Yeah.
We said, great, appreciate this. Let's see what we can do to work this out.
Yeah.
And then we never heard back.
So
they're just lying. Oh my god. Holy shit. Like, I mean, I don't understand. By the way, this is like a subtext thing. But like, I'm pretty sure it says in the Book of Mormon, like, not to lie to people, right? Like, it probably says, like, it's bad to do this because it's like you're, like, deceiving your fellow man, or Jesus doesn't want you to do that, or, I mean, there's gotta be something in there, right?
Why is Ammon going on, like, Fox News then and saying, we wanted to give Brian his stuff back. He's the one that didn't want his stuff back. He didn't want any of his things.
That's my point. I don't know. He's lying.
I truly do believe in integrity. Truly, I believe in the sentiment of integrity, and I believe everyone should have integrity.
But anyways,
everybody
thing the CEO seems to be pretty
everybody minus one.
Upset about is that when Brian kept demanding his stuff back and couldn't get it back, eventually he had enough. And he was like, I'm going to make a Facebook post about this. And in his Facebook post, he called Bricks and Minifigs thieves and liars. And this Facebook post, like, really pissed off Ammon. I mean, Bricks and Minifigs is literally suing Brian now for millions of dollars. All because of this. I mean, back when I was talking to him at corporate headquarters, he made it very clear that what they did is technically not actually considered theft.
There is no theft. Do you understand the legal definition of theft? Legally have to be the definition of knowing that the property was stolen or otherwise not.
Yeah. And on my phone.
So they did like, but they did know. They literally knew that it was like. But that's but by that definition,
Until Mr. Mandel came in days later and said, I have some of these things that need to be.
And that's another lie again, because
it's not another lie.
So I showed Ammon the security camera footage where corporate acknowledges that they are now going to be responsible for these Lego Star Wars sets.
These are ones that he has not been paid his percentage yet. And if I don't have the tickets, I won't know how much I need to pay him.
That's a business thing and not necessarily yours. He's taking on the business, he takes on all that outside that life.
And after showing him this footage to try to bring the conversation back to reality, this was his response.
Extortion?
Because we caught you guys?
It's extortion. Oh, you have proof? Oh, I guess I'm being extorted.
You are attempting to
yes, hello, police? They're going to kill me.
Extort us. So.
Really? It's so stupid. Oh my God.
What you are doing right now is illegal. It's an extortion.
So catching you guys in illegal activity, that's illegal on me.
Yeah. It's illegal to find out.
See, I agree too. I agree. Nope, it's not illegal on us.
Yeah.
Thank you for.
Nothing illegal, and you are doing something.
I don't like how they're giving all Mormons a bad rep. They're not.
I don't
These
think
guys
that's illegal.
are just
I think
assholes.
us
Just a
catching
handful
you
of
guys doing
assholes.
the illegal thing.
That's all.
Doesn't make that what
assholes
we're doing
in every
illegal. That means
religion.
what you guys are doing is illegal.
Just the way it is. Great PR, not good PR.
You've been asked to leave, please leave.
We have to leave?
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you for working with us.
They won't leave. They were going to kill me.
After just going around in circles for probably 30 to 40 minutes and just, having like kind of less than genuine questions or less than genuine responses being given to me, I was exasperated by the end of it. And that's, like when people get tired and exasperated, that's when like, we finally got the footage that we can use to make him look like a completely unreasonable monster, but that's what they do is people whose goal is to do those types of things, they just harass and go after people as long and hard as they can until somebody breaks and says something that then they can, use that one clip to be like, oh, look at this horrible monster of a person.
Clearly.
So that's what I feel like has kind of really happened here.
So Ammon's claiming that I just harassed him for 30 minutes and finally he got fed up with us, which that was the one clip at the end that I used in my documentary. So I say let's go to the very beginning of the footage, my first interaction with them, and see what actually happened.
So what's going on?
So you guys are holding
He's just
some of our
asking.
Legos?
Yeah, he's just asking right here.
You're not?
Yeah, literally from the very first sentence we ever exchanged with each other, Ammon's goal was just to lie to us. But anyways, I'm now starting to think that the only reason Ammon wanted us to email him about the inventory list wasn't actually give us
He just wanted you to leave the store so he could create a reason for you not to be able to go back to the store. That's literally it.
Inventory list.
Yeah, it's actually that simple.
It was a trap. Yeah, Ammon only wanted me to email him so he can find out my email and subpoena Google and find out all of my private information. You think I'm lying, but they actually did this. They subpoenaed Google asking for all private information tied to this email address. And Google sent them like hundreds of hours of all the raw footage from everything I've filmed to the Lego video so far. All my emails, all my search history, all the metadata that shows everywhere I've been. But anyways, this was the reaction of the police officer after she watched my entire first episode.
I'm really curious to see like if this fool even makes any money doing this YouTube stuff. I'm like, if it's enough for him to travel to another state just to go get some footage. It doesn't even sound like his like secret information doesn't even seem credible, from
No.
my understanding.
No, so it sounds like you were able to watch the video.
I think by secret information, the police
Secret
officer is
information.
referring to the security camera footage
Yeah.
that proves that everything Bricks and Minifigs is saying is a lie.
yeah,
My
bullshit.
first question is, how could this not be credible? It's literally just video evidence of what happened that
Of them
night.
talking,
But
yeah.
at least now I can see why the police aren't listening to me. They're basically just saying that all of the evidence I submit to them is not credible, and therefore, case closed. Ben's
Yeah.
wrong, and we're right, because we said that the evidence is uncredible. At this point, Bricks and Minifigs is working with